Padres insider Kevin Acee. Has he been on the show before? He's been on with us, right? So Kevin will join us.
He's like a third co-host.
John and Jim and
or
Friends.
Or fourth co-host, something. I don't even know.
John and Jim and Friends. What do you think of that? Kevin would be a friend.
But wasn't he a part of the show?
Can you name the three
Schaefer
friends?
Was it Schaefer?
No. Yeah, I got top billing over Nick Hardwick.
No, I'm not. I didn't like. It's not what I mean. I'm just giving you the names, not in any particular order. So
no, you didn't.
I know I didn't. I'm kidding. It was Hardwick, Schaefer, and Friends. Brent just said to me, no, you didn't. Of course I didn't.
Yeah.
But hold on. Can you name the three? Is there anyone in America that listens to that show that's listening right now? And then secondly, can you name
I can name two.
Three friends. Okay. Who are the two you can name?
Heath Bell and Kevin Acee.
You can't name the third?
I don't remember the third.
Former Charger. Certainly heard his name in the market over the years. You'll recognize the name when I say it.
Oh, Rich?
No, because Rich was on at the time. Marcus McNeil.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Who's a super good guy.
Okay.
And I think was a very good player. Those were the friends.
Wow, what a show.
But then the friend. Now, Kevin's still a friend.
He is still a friend. He stayed a friend.
Kind of forced to be.
Through this, yeah, we forced him to do it.
It's like Darnay. I mean, he's kind of like forced to be a friend.
Right. Sorry, guys. You're our friends. You don't have a choice.
Anyway, John and Jim and Friends with Kevin Acee at 3:30. Andre Hagverdian covers San Diego State for the East Village Times. He'll join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll get more into San Diego State and Cal coming up on Saturday. I mean, Jim, what's going on here in the NL West? I said yesterday, it's like the team that wins it is like falling forwards, not falling backwards. They're like nobody's really earning it down the stretch. Nobody's really taking it. Here we are, Padres lose. I mean, they're embarrassed last night. We'll get into it. And then the Dodgers, they have Shohei Ohtani on the mound. He goes 5 hitless innings. They have a 4-run lead. They lose 9-6 to the Phillies. So we're right back where we started. I mean, you're a day closer to the season being over. They're 2 out, which is really 3 out. It's not impossible. It's unlikely. But the Dodgers are just not ending things, and the Padres aren't putting themselves in a position to win this thing.
Yeah, it's hey, do you want the win? You want to win the division? No, but do you want to win the division? No. Do you want to win the division? You're right. They're falling into potentially winning the division. Now, if they do play good baseball, the final 11, say they go 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good baseball over an 11-game stretch, is it not?
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Then if they were to win the division by finishing off the season 8-3, then you could say they would have earned it.
I agree with that.
That I think that's pretty definitive. Like you play well down the stretch and you win the division. There's no, hey, they fell into the division. No, okay. they went out and earned it. But if they finish the year, I mean, I have the chart right in front of me here of what the Padres need to do and the Dodgers need to do in order to overtake the Dodgers in the National League West.
Yeah.
And so with 11 games remaining, the Padres would need to, and I had it right here. Stupid thing. Hold on.
Well, I'm basically the chart. You can estimate.
Yeah, but I have
the answer.
Okay, so here we go. I have the chart. Okay, so say the Dodgers go 5-8 down the stretch. I guess now they'd go 4-8.
Do they have 12 games remaining? They both have 11 games remaining.
Say they go.
This is where the math is going. They have 11 games remaining.
Okay, they have 11 games remaining.
Let's say they go 4-7.
4-7. There you go. There we go. 4-7.
Okay.
They go 4-7. Padres need to go
7-4.
7-4
to win the division.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Can the Padres play better than that?
They can, but they need to prove it to us. We've seen it multiple times this year.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the Dodgers could go 4-7 down the stretch.
They absolutely could.
San Francisco. I know San Francisco's had hard times the last couple of days, and the Phillies. The Dodgers still have the Phillies. The thing is, are we guaranteed to see the Padres play 7-4 type baseball? We're not. The Mets need it just like the Padres need it. The Brewers, they will not have the 1 seed wrapped up when they're here. I promise you that. There's no
Phillies
1 seed wrapped up next week before next weekend. So they're going to need those to secure a 1 seed potentially or fall back to the number 2 seed. And then Arizona, Jim, is in position as we sit here today to make the postseason. Now, we don't know if they will be when the two teams meet next weekend. Mm-hmm. They might be eliminated. But if they're not, they'll have a ton to play for. So I don't know what I'm expecting here. Am I expecting the Dodgers to keep playing like this and the Padres still have a chance? I just wonder if the Padres going to take advantage if the Dodgers keep playing like this. Imagine this scenario. The worst case for me is the Dodgers do go 4-7 down the stretch and you don't win the division.
Oh,
you go 6-5.
Yeah.
You finish in a tie. By the way, how many wins do the Padres have right now? 82, is it, Jim?
82.
So even like you said, I mean, they could go 8-3 down the stretch. And I'm with you. I don't think that's backing in, but it's a 90-win division winner. It's not some ridiculous season, a 90-win division winner.
I think to really give themselves a chance, 8-3 down the stretch is
got to do it.
Kind of what you need to do. It's not going to be easy because they're not a good road team, and they're not a good road team against winning teams. Last night, oh man, just
bad.
It's worse than bad.
Worse than bad.
It was awful.
What's worse than bad? Awful.
Michael King looked really, really bad. Gave you really no confidence going forward that, hey, he's going to be your number 2 starter in the postseason. He's pitching like that. His last 2 starts, the 4 home runs yesterday, it was 4 home runs, right? And then his first start back, he gave up 2, but really should have been 3 if not for Fernando Tatis Jr., robbing that home run there. He's just giving up meatball after meatball after meatball. And is 2 starts enough for Michael King to flip that switch and be the Michael King we saw before he slept wrong on his shoulder?
Spot on. I mean, I was saying something comparable. How much confidence are you going to have if he pitches well against the White Sox? Like, what are you learning?
Yeah, it's the White Sox.
They have the worst record in the American League by 10 games.
And if vice versa, he doesn't pitch well against the White Sox, and it's even worse.
I mean, I guess I'd ask you this. The Padres, I wasn't willing to go down this path, and I think you feel the same way. The Padres are going to make the postseason. Barring an utter collapse, the Padres have a 99+% chance of making the postseason. But is Michael King locked in to pitch their second game? I would guess no. Now, I can't tell you that Dylan Cease is going to be a better option or Yu Darvish, but if Michael King goes out in Chicago on Sunday and goes 5 innings, allows 4 runs, are you pitching him in the second game just because there's no other option? Or are you saying, like, this is kind of insane? I mean, we're putting this guy in a position where we're kind of asking him to fail, potentially.
Maybe. They could look at it like, hey, Dylan Cease, Yu Darvish, they're more built up. We want to have those guys out there.
Right. Then again, there's a third game, too.
I have no idea what they're going to do. All I know is that if they want to go deep into a postseason, doesn't Michael King feel like pretty important to their
100%.
Their chances?
Yeah, he does. And I said, I think last night, I'm like, maybe it's been oversimplified because I've agreed. You and I have both said, like, without Michael King, you're not winning a World Series. And it's probably true. But I've never said without Michael King, you can't beat the Cubs at Wrigley in a 3-game series. I think it's harder. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've never said that. I mean, things happen. Like, go back to how did Padres fans feel before social media in 1998 when the Padres played terribly in September? And then they made the World Series. Or how confident were we in 2022 when they ended up upsetting the Dodgers heading into that series? Not overly confident, I don't think. The Padres were terrible against the Dodgers that year.
The one thing that the Padres had in 2022 that I do think helped them is winning at Citi Field against the Mets.
That's right.
And
3-game series.
And playing well and having the confidence to lead you into that series.
Yeah.
So all it could take is just one series to, like, propel you. But we're still waiting for that one series.
That road series win that we've talked about all month long.
Yeah, taking the next 2 from the Mets is, I think, pretty crucial. I for their not only their confidence level, but for also their chances to win the division.
1,000%.
And if they win the next 2 and the Dodgers win the next 2, then okay, so be it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But at least you won't be sitting there saying to yourself, "We missed all these opportunities again."
Yeah,
and going out and playing good baseball and hitting with runners in scoring position, pitching well, playing well on the road. Because against playoff caliber teams on the road, they have been awful this year.
How about 500 teams on the road? Just 500, 12-26.
Wait,
on the road.
Say that again.
If a team is 500 or better,
yeah,
they're 12-26 on the road,
and that number has gone up because the D-backs have now gone above 500.
Exactly, and your stat holds true, which is I think 1-9 in series against playoff teams because Arizona still is not in playoff positioning.
Right,
they do have a series win over Arizona in the desert this year. But I mean, listen, how could you not be concerned? But I also kind of have made the point that there's an unpredictability to this. Like, I'm sitting there watching how the Phillies are playing right now, and I'm like, the Phillies are going to go to the World Series and win it, right? But it's not as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I think there's people that are writing off the Dodgers. I mean, can you do it? I think there's people that are writing off the Padres.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And the Brewers. Did the Brewers peak too soon? But I go to Fangraphs. There's not one team with a better than 1 in 7 shot to win the World Series. which means every team is unlikely to win the World Series. Every single one of them is unlikely to do it. And guess what? Someone's going to do it.
And I see the comparison, and you mentioned it. The 1998 Padres team in September, they played awful.
Yep.
And that they did play awful. They won the division by 9.5 games.
Right. So there was margin, cushion, breathing.
There was no there was, hey, what's going on here? I think you could probably chalk that up to, hey, we have such a huge lead in this division here. We just want to get to the postseason. And I'm sure the players would tell you that too, is like they just stumbled in September for whatever reason. And then they locked in come postseason time. Now that team did go on the road and win. This Padres team will need to go on the road potentially and have to win as well. But it's a lot different when you're talking about a 98 win team compared to maybe like an 88, 87 win team.
I completely agree. I mean, you bring up a really good point. And this has been the knock on.
And a team that also, by the way, coming into September 98,
was 90 and 49.
Was well on their way to either one of the best records in baseball or the best record in baseball and 100% winning that division.
They entered September leading the division by 15
games.
There was no world in hell where they were going to lose the division. They could have lost out. They actually could have lost out. And I think won the division by a game. They went 8-15. So they could have lost the 8 wins because they ended up winning the division by 9 games. That's how secure they were. But this is always the knock on teams that have wrapped things up early.
Yep, they just get complacent.
They get complacent. Now, this version of the Padres and this version of the Dodgers, there shouldn't be complacency. But what's interesting is look at their overall records. Dodgers since the 1st of July are under 500. Padres have been awful the last 3 weeks. 8-14 in the last 22.
Not good.
So I don't have an explanation for how this is playing out.
I also don't think there's really any correlation that anybody can make between 98 and this team. Like
no.
Like none.
I completely agree, but I guess my point, you're 100% right.
I can't even make a correlation with
2022.
2022. Like
But would you also agree that you don't always have to draw correlations, that like stupid things happen and you get in playing 5 and 6 down the stretch and then you sweep the Cubs? Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could.
Yes, that is one thing that I can say is like baseball is such a weird sport where you could be stumbling your way into a postseason and then the switch flips and all of a sudden it's like, wait, this team out of nowhere is in the NLCS? Huh?
Like, how'd that happen?
That's just how baseball is. So with that, you shouldn't give up hope.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't feel like this team is just automatically going to lose in its opening round, whoever they do play. But the confidence level going into that, I agree. It's not that high, so there's 2 things. You can still have hope, but going into it, I understand if Padres fans' confidence level out there isn't high because of how they played this year and how they played on the road. So all it takes is just like one win in game 1, and then everything just kind of flips like, oh, we have a chance at this.
Right. And if there is good news, they do have Nick Pivetta, who will start tonight, and we'll see if he can look like Nick Pivetta tonight against the New York Mets at Citi Field. All right, Kevin Acee will join us at 3:30. We can get your calls on the other side if you want to weigh in. 877-767-4760. Like yesterday, we will hear from Mike Schilt pregame and get his commentary. So we'll hear from Mike Schilt this hour. We'll take your calls, 877-767-4760, plus an update on Xander Bogaerts and when he is expected to return. That's next. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We do remind you, download the iHeartRadio app. You can put San Diego Sports 760 as your number one preset. You can put John and Jim in your presets as well. Listen back to any hour or interview or listen live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Kevin Acee will join us in the 3 o'clock hour at 3:30. We'll hear from Mike Schilt this hour. The update on Xander Bogaerts, Jim, I think is encouraging. He's in Arizona right now, this is per Kevin Acee, and he's preparing to come back as soon as this weekend in Chicago against the White Sox. This per Kevin Acee, he's been running at an intensity of 80 to 85% earlier in the week. He's in Arizona. Padres will be in Chicago to begin a series on Friday. So we might see Xander for more than a week before the postseason. We could see him for 7, 8, 9, even maybe 10 games, something like that. 9 or 10 games for Xander potentially from his fractured foot. He really hasn't missed that much time, truthfully, from this injury.
Everything's saved.
Xander's coming back.
Xander's coming back.
Yeah, it's not like you've been without. That's a good point. You haven't been without Gavin Sheets, who, by the way, has been this team's offense.
Imagine saying that.
He's been this team's
on like
offense.
April 10th.
I know, you're right. Maybe I should
say,
like,
man, where would this team be without Gavin Sheets?
Maybe
on September 17th.
If anything good came out of yesterday and they hit 3 home runs, the Padres did, Jackson Merrill's legitimately red hot.
He is.
10 extra base hits in his last 10 games. He's hit 333 in his last 10, 4 homers in his last 5.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's very good. If that continues, that's amazing. But I mean, you know what's funny with baseball? You get something like that, and Ramon Laureano goes 4 for 34.
Yep.
Which I think is right. I think that's where he is in his last 34 at bats.
That's kind of been the problem with this team offensively is you can't get all these guys kind of clicking at once. He's 3 for his last 26.
3 for 26.
Yeah, he's hitting 115 over that his last 26 at bats here. Not great. His last 15 games hitting 232.
Yeah.
So
he's taking a step back.
He has, and I'm not gonna blame him at all. No. It's baseball, and he's not a guy that is being looked at as the superstar player of this team. He is a complementary piece. He was brought in to be a complementary piece, along with Ryan O'Hearn, who has also fallen off a cliff. But what we have not seen this year is like their star players all hot at one time. Unless I'm mistaken, I think at the start of the year, Merrill and Tatis were red hot, but then that lasted 10 games and Merrill got injured and he was out for a month. Mm-hmm. Manny was very consistent at the start of the season. All-star first half, absolutely. But we've yet to see that stretch where it's like, man, this team offensively with their top guys all producing. We've seen this team offensively look good, score 5-6 runs, a game for a 2-week stretch or whatever. But it was like with Manny going over 4 every night and Tatis hitting like 240 and Luis Ariz hitting like 230, right? It was a lot of like the others stepping up and contributing in big ways and making it so that this team is scoring a bunch of runs. We've yet to see Manny and Toddy and Ariz and Merrill all be like the backbone and cornerstone of this offense leading the way.
Yeah, it's together. You're right. It's happened like twice
over
150 games. And by the way, how many times have we said this over recent Padres history at the trade deadline? You get a player that's a different player in his previous stop than he is here within the same year. Ryan O'Hearn in Baltimore, 837 OPS. Ryan O'Hearn in San Diego, 644 OPS. How about this? Ramon Laureano, who's been good. Yeah. I mean, he's been great. In Baltimore, his OPS was 41 points higher, 884. Now he's taking this step back.
He has.
It's down to 843. He's still been a big reason why they've gotten to this point in the second half of the year. But, we said that on the day of the deadline, that it might look good on paper. You might get players that you think are going to help you offensively for whatever reason. It doesn't always work like that, whether it was Juan Soto in 2022 or to a lesser extent now Ryan O'Hearn in 2025. And now it's back to the same conversation. Like, can you get 6 innings from Nick Pivetta? And can your bullpen close the door with someone like Mason Miller? And can you win a game 3-2? Like, we thought the offense was going to be improved in the second half of the year. There's been times it has, but now we're back to like, you're going to score 3 runs. Yeah. Yesterday, they scored 3 runs. You're going to have to win scoring 3 or 4 runs, not 7 or 8.
Yeah, it goes back to the conversation of if they're going to be the 5 seed, which I'm sure Fangraphs, the percentage of them being the 5 seed is pretty high. I don't know if you could find that, but because they're going to make the postseason. I think the percent chance of them winning the division is pretty low.
What do you think it is right now?
Less than 7%.
It's 9.5.
Oh, okay.
It's 9.5 that they win the division.
So still
because of the Dodgers.
The Dodgers just are trying to hand this thing to the Padres.
Right.
It's crazy.
I think you're one day away from, if you can get a win and a Dodger loss, you got a realistic shot. But you're also one day away from, if the Dodgers win and you lose, it's done.
Yep. If the Dodgers won last night and they preserved that lead and preserves Shohei Ohtani's 5 no-hit innings.
Right.
That was such a stupid game.
5 no-hit innings and they allowed 9 runs. It's like the first time in the history of the sport that's happened.
And then you got SportsCenter tweeting out like, Ohtani's the first player ever to have 50 homers and 50 strikeouts in a season.
We're like, what?
Huh?
What kind of stat is that?
Stupid. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. If the Dodgers won last night, coupled with the Padres losing, I would have come in today and say the division is over.
Me too.
Like, over.
I would have said the exact same thing. I don't care if it would have said 2% chance. I'm like, no, you're done.
Yeah, they're going to Chicago. They're going to be the 5 seed unless they completely collapse. And then they're the 6, and then they're going to Dodger Stadium. That's what I would have said today. But it's because the Dodgers continuously losing these games. You're like, I guess I have to still think the division's in play, even though the Padres aren't playing well. It's like a weird feeling.
It's very weird
that they're so close, yet they feel so far, yet it's like you can't just completely dismiss it.
You can't dismiss it. And in 7 hours, like, we could say division over,
or
we could say they're one out.
Yeah.
And like, this is doable with 10 to play. You got to overcome two games in 10. Think about that. How often does a team go 6-4 and someone else go 4-6 over any 10-game period? All the time. And that's all they'd be out of winning the division. So anything is possible here over the final 11 games of the regular season. Dave, don't go anywhere. We'll get you on the other side. 877-767-4760. We'll hear from Mike Schilt coming up as well. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He will join us at 3:30. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Lexus El Cajon. Bring luxury home. Padres and Mets game 2 of their 3-game series later this afternoon. 4:10 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres, with the Dodgers lost last night, along with the Padres lost. Padres are still just 2 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West with 11 games remaining. And tonight at 6 p.m., it's SDFC Midweek Live, 1 full hour of SDFC talk with Darren and Adrian right here on San Diego Sports 760. This fall, discover why Lexus El Cajon is #1 for customer service with unbeatable offers on new and pre-owned Lexus models in stock. You got to visit LexusElCajon.com today. Bring luxury home from Lexus El Cajon.
All right, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 3:30. If you thought the Padres might have a secret weapon to start the postseason of like Joe Musgrove in the back of their bullpen, apparently he's been ruled out per Kevin Acee. He will not be ready for the wild card series, and it would take the Padres advancing to something like the National League Championship Series. Although I feel as if you're in the National League Championship Series, why then would you turn to Joe Musgrove? Because you've reached the National League Championship
Unless
Series.
someone got injured.
Yes. Good. But still.
Exactly. It's a risky thing to ask. Hey, we need you coming off of Tommy John surgery, go pitch in game 4 of the NLCS. Thanks.
Risky for the team and risky for Joe Musgrove's recovery.
Yeah, because you think his adrenaline's going to be high his first start back? Yeah, it's only going to get double when it is in the postseason, if it were to be in the postseason. And the NLCS, like, oh my gosh.
We'll see you in 2026, Joe.
Yeah, we'll
see you in 2026.
We'll see you next year.
No matter what happens.
Just be a good cheerleader for the team.
Exactly, which I think he has been.
Yes.
All right, Dave's been very patient. Dave, let's get you here. 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in, or text us 70470. Start your message with the word team. And Dave, you're back with us on John and Jim.
Hello, man, and thanks again for the conversation. And I've been actually hanging on every single utterance and word that both of you have been echoing here throughout the entire season and wrap-up show. So, look, here's where we're at. And we can sit on the fence all back day long and talk about baseball anomalies. This is what we know. The Padres are not a good come-from-behind team. So when your starting pitching goes out and ends up performing batting practice, giving up home run derbies to the other team, it's going to be difficult regardless of who they put out there. So the key for this team, whoever they start, they have to have pitching that keeps the ball in the yard, keeps the game in hand. This team does not play well coming from behind. We saw what happened last night. The look on Manny's face a couple of times, TV showed him. It was just the look of just bewilderment and disgust. I felt sorry for Manny, because there's nothing worse when you're out there sitting in a game like that and your pitcher just doesn't have it and you're getting your doors blown off. I mean, my goodness. So this is, regardless of who they pitch. And I think it's a risk at this point, a big risk, going with the expectations on Mike King. I think is asking way too much at this point. But they've got to keep the ball in the yard. They've got to keep the starting pitchers, whoever they are, Wandy, Peralta, whoever they put out there. They have got to keep these games under control, and that's what worries me the most.
Appreciate it, Dave. It's a huge concern. Like, I don't know what the numbers suggest, Jim, but they're allowing way too many home runs. All they do is allow home runs. They're starting pitchers. It's like every single game, there's an early home run. Yesterday, there were 4 early home runs. 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah,
this is supposed to be a strength of the team.
Yeah, it's really taken a step back. I mean, it really has.
Yeah, the bullpen has taken a step back. The starting pitching has taken a step back. The names are great, but they're just not performing at the level that you want them to perform. And then it makes it even worse when your starting pitching and your bullpen, the perceived strengths of your team, aren't performing, and you have an offense that also can't help that out. It just makes things even worse, because Dave's right. I mean, the offense, if I were to ask you right now, the biggest weakness of the Dodgers, what would it be?
It would be their bullpen.
Right. What is the biggest weakness of the Padres?
This is my point on how would you define the Padres, or like, how do you label them? I think they have weaknesses in a number of areas right now. The whole we don't have weak links, or we can't have weak links to win a World Series from August 1st to today is 2 through 5 in your rotation. Mm-hmm. the depth of your bullpen,
I think
your lineup.
Like if you were to ask me what I think the weakness of the Padres is, it's their lineup and it's their offense. The names in the lineup are great, but I think that their offense for the entirety of the season has been subpar. And I think it's really let them down. The lack of power, the lack of consistency, the fact that, every big name in your lineup, none of them are having like these great years for their standards.
Right, like career years.
No one's having a career year. No, nobody. I would put their weakness right on the offense. And then it makes things even worse when you know that your offense is your weakness and then your strengths need to carry you and help you. Those become issues. And now it's like you got a lot of different things. Like to your point, there's a lot of different areas now that you could say that it's a weakness of the team.
Yeah, like what do they say? Like it's like you try to fix a leak, but then as you do it, another one pops up.
Oh yeah,
like that would be
you
a
fix
good
one
analogy.
leak, and then all of a sudden the leak comes out of the side of the thing, and then you fix that, and another leak comes out of the other side.
I mean that's what it feels like a little bit to be someone that's covering the Padres or a fan of the Padres. Like the fact is, I'm looking right now. This actually, what somewhat surprises me, Jim? Their OPS for the season is 17th in baseball. They're on base plus slugging. I thought it'd be worse. Is 17th in baseball.
What is their slugging percentage?
Where they've been worn down, obviously. Yeah, like what they can't overcome is the fact that their slug is 22nd in baseball at 389. So they're 22nd in baseball in slug. Their on base percentage obviously has been higher. And still in home runs, they are still 29th in baseball in home runs hit.
Where do they stand as far as runs scored in all of baseball? My guess would be bottom half, like 25th, 24th.
24th.
Yeah. That's because the American League exists.
That's hilarious.
And also the Pirates and the Rockies are there. But in the National League, they're third worst, or they have to score the third fewest amount of runs in the National League.
That's exactly right. Yet so they're still in this position where.
Yeah. And if you looked at last year's team's offense compared to this year's team's offense, night and day. Last year's team's offense, so much better than this year's offense.
Padres a year ago were 8th in runs scored.
Yeah.
This year they're 24th.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a good. Yeah, I hate to say it, and people go there with. Listen, that's a recipe to have turnover. That's a recipe to have, and I'm not advocating for it, but I'm telling you that's a recipe to have turnover in some of those positions on Mike Schultz's staff. When you go from 8th in runs scored to 24th. Right. I mean, it's a lot.
If you're going to sit there and be like, well, last year's offense was better as far as the players go. Like, well, look, they still have Manny Machado. They still have Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Ariz, Jackson Merrill. I mean, Xander Bogaerts is healthy, right? Like, they still had all those pieces. And they added a Gavin Sheets who is having a career year.
Yep.
A career year. And you're still one of the worst teams in baseball as far as runs scored. Like, why is that? I put the blame on the top guys in this offense. Manny, Toddy, Luis Ariz, Jackson Merrill. Those players are the reason why this offense is as bad as it is this year compared to last year.
Yeah, it has nothing to do. I mean, when I say nothing, the Victor Rodriguez conversation that's played out all year long, he was the hitting coach last year. They were a really good offense. I mean, you put it on the big money performers, and you kind of go as far as they carry you. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, Manny Machado's final 5-6 weeks of the season has just been off. Yes, I know he had the games against Colorado. Tatis, there's been moments. Merrill, there's been moments. But the expectation heading into the year was way more out of the 4 names you just said. Out of Machado, Tatis, Merrill, and Ariz. The expectations were so much higher than what they've actually gotten in production. Some of it is almost amazing that they're going to potentially win 90 games and potentially vie for this division. And the fact is they're going to the postseason. They've done it on the backs of their bullpen, by and large, this year. Like, that's how they're getting to the postseason. Their bullpen's protected a lot of leads this year.
How many 1-run or 1-0 games have they won this season?
5.
That's a lot.
Like, I don't know what the record is in 1-0 games. I think it's 5-0. As in, I don't know if they've lost 1-0 this year. But let's say you lost 5 games. I mean, they scored 1 run 5 times and won. Yeah. If they had lost those 5 games, you're on the outside looking in.
Over the course of the entire season, they have not been a good team as far as like adding on. Yeah,
it's true.
They're not a team that doesn't they don't come back. Last year's team, they went down 4 runs. Easy. Team's coming back and winning this game. They always were in it. They felt like they were in it, and they showed it, and they had all these comebacks. And you just felt like watching this team last year, they were never out of game. And that's not the case this year. Yesterday, going down 7-1 as early as they did, last year's team, you felt like they could make it a game. Yesterday, I know they had a couple home runs, whatever, but that thing was over.
I mean, the odds of coming back from 5-0 down in the first inning on the road. Again, you give yourself time,
Not
it's
very
low.
high.
And then the odds of coming back from 8-2.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a 1 in 100. You have a 1 in 100 shot.
Especially this team that doesn't score runs. They don't have power, so they don't have that 3-run homer in their back pocket, And I'm watching the Phillies and Dodgers last night. It's like,
yeah, there's a lot of runs.
I know the Dodgers are struggling, and they're having obviously a massive down year for their standards, but they still got the home run power. Andy Pages the other night, he hits that not a 2-run homer, the solo shot in the ninth to tie it up, right? Shohei Ohtani, he's hitting home runs left and right. Mookie Betts, like they have home run power to get themselves back into games that they give up the lead because their bullpen sucks.
Right.
Padres don't have that. They don't have that ability. And you look at the Phillies, it's like, good luck, man. You're not keeping up with that horse. That thing is going to lap you as far as their power goes and their ability to get back into games if they're trailing late.
That's the thing. It's like the Padres have less ways to win.
Yep.
Other teams have more outs in a deck than San Diego does. There's still outs in the deck for the Padres, but again, their margins are thinner.
The Padres outs in their deck is sacrificing and laying down bunts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like giving you outs. The Padres are giving you outs. That's how they get out of their outs or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, that's exactly
a lot
right.
of outs there.
That's exactly what it is. All right, Kevin Acee will have more on it coming up at 3:30. We will hear from Mike Schilt coming up as the Padres get ready for the Mets. Plus, will Brock Purdy return as soon as this weekend for the Niners? We have the latest on that coming up this hour as well. Stay with us. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, Kevin AC will join us at 3:30. We'll hear from Mike Schilt prior to Padres and Mets. It's Nick Pivetta on the hill tonight for San Diego. He's opposite a lefty, David Peterson, who has not pitched well recently. His year overall has been solid. We should mention, you ran through the lineup, I think, on air. Iglesias back in at short against the lefty. Maybe it was off air.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Iglesias back in at short for essentially Jake Cronenworth.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean. Iglesias is going to start at short here tonight against a lefty, which means Ryan O'Hearn is sitting against a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
And O'Hearn has kind of been mired in a slump in his time in San Diego. So they're going with the good old defense, right? Iglesias, who has not hit anything like he hit last year with the New York Mets, will start against his former team and against that left-handed starter here tonight in David Peterson.
The lineup conversation, it is what it is now. It never ends, because you know what? Over the last 2+ weeks here, they've tried all the lineups we've talked about, and nothing works to the extent of like it being consistent. Like, oh, that clicked
just against the Rockies. They've had some the games where it's clicked have been against the Rockies.
Does that really count, though?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, they scored 10 runs against the Rockies a couple times.
The Padres this year have a run differential of plus like 53 against the Rockies.
Yep.
And overall in the season, they have like a plus 58 as a team.
Right.
So it's like without the Rockies in play, they are just as mid as it gets.
Yeah, you're right.
So the lineup conversation, I'm kind of over it because nothing's sticking, nothing's working. Maybe Xander has to return for something to happen. But again, Xander Bogaerts is not, to me, this like white knight riding in on its white horse to like save the day.
Right.
He's just not that guy to me. He's very forgettable. It will help them with like lineup construction and having a better lineup. But is it going to make this big difference? I don't know. I can't sit here and be like, yeah, absolutely is. We're not talking about the return of like, oh man, the team just lost Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's returning to the lineup, or if Kyle Schwarber was returning to the lineup, or Shohei Ohtani was returning to the lineup. It's Xander Bogaerts. Guy's like the most average mid player imaginable.
Well, how about this? On Q, ESPN yesterday publishes an article, biggest wins and biggest failures of the year for all 30 teams. Biggest 2025 success and failure for all 30 teams, right?
Yeah. What's the Padres?
Biggest failure, Xander Bogaerts.
But John, remember when he was amazing for that month and a half?
But now we're talking about maybe everything's fixed if Bogaerts comes back. And again, this is ESPN. They're at 32. Bogaerts has posted his second straight subpar offensive season. His OPS plus of 98 is up from last year's 92, but remains well off what he did in Boston. Right? The change in ballparks has been more severe for Bogaerts than expected. I mean, his career slug at Fenway compared to Petco is off by 100 points. So they said the biggest failure of the year is Xander Bogaerts. You know what their biggest success is? What do you think the biggest success of the Padres is this year? You'll never guess it.
Okay, so it's not the obvious Nick Pivetta, Gavin Sheets.
Nope. Keep going. I'll give you 10 guesses.
Adrian Morejon.
No, keep going.
Fernando.
No. I'm going to give you another 7 guesses. You won't get it.
I have no idea.
Winning the deadline. Their biggest success was winning the deadline.
That's not a big success.
But since the deadline, they're like a game over 500.
Yeah, they have not taken off like we thought they were going to take off after the deadline. Even though they did have, in the middle of that, they were in the middle of a 14-3 stretch.
They were, yeah.
And then just like, hey, let's become as average as can be again.
Yeah, isn't that like, we've said this so many times, is like winning the winter meetings. It is nice in real time.
Dodgers won the offseason.
100%. But the Padres have done this now. They have won off seasons. They've had strong winter meetings. They've had strong trade deadlines. They've gained the attention of baseball fans and San Diegans and Padres fans. But then you get on the field and it's been ups and downs.
Look at the Brewers offseason. Did anybody have a worse offseason coming off of a playoff year than the Brewers did last offseason?
Right.
Lost Willie Adames. They traded away Devin Williams. They didn't make any big signings. I bet you if you look at their lineup, you wouldn't know half the guys in their lineup if you don't watch Brewers baseball every day.
They're in line for the 1 seed.
And exactly. That's my point, is the Brewers in the offseason, you could argue that by the moves that they didn't make and the players that they lost, oh, that team's going to win 75 games next year. And now they're on the verge of winning 100 and getting the 1 seed potentially. So, like, you're right. Winning the deadline is the Padres' greatest success of the year. Like, huh?
It's a very odd success. And I mean, Jim, it was August 1st. AJ Preller spoke with the media and said, in order to win a World Series, we needed to address these weak links. I'm like, now it goes back to this leaky boat analogy. We're like, I don't even know what the strong link. What's the strongest link of the team? The guarantee. I think it's Mason Miller and Nick Pivetta.
Yeah,
that's
even
your
Nick Pivetta
strength.
is not like
invincible. Yeah. But Mason Miller has proved to be that.
Well, I do think from an AJ Preller standpoint, in his mind, he addressed all the weak links, and I agree.
Yeah,
I thought he
addressed
did
them. Yeah.
Because the players that were on this team pre-deadline should not have been on this team. And if they kept going with those players and didn't upgrade those positions, it's probably worse right now. It's probably worse. They're probably fighting for their life to be in the postseason. So I do think he shored up the team enough to put them in a position where with 11 games remaining, I mean, I'll say it. I'm not worried about them missing the postseason.
No, either am I.
Like, I'm not like, oh man, they're gonna miss the postseason. I feel like they're very comfortably in it, as long as they don't lose the next 10 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be asking for, but that's like completely on them and outside the realm of anything that should be happening.
But along with shoring up the weak links that Preller, I feel like, did, subsequently, you had your star players, Manny, Toddy, Rise, Merrill until recently, not perform and not produce. So you can shore up your weak links, but if you don't have your star players producing, the weak links that were shored up doesn't matter. It's like, oh, we fixed the hole in the boat, but our sail actually is like now just ripped off the sail. We can't we can't maneuver. We have no anchor anymore. Like, what's going on here?
Let me ask you this though. There's a larger question that cannot be answered. Why does this always happen to the San Diego Padres?
In what way?
In this way, that they put in the money, they'll move heaven and earth at the deadline, and then it's never a straight line season like other teams inherently run into. Other teams just inevitably, Philadelphia, oh, we're just going to put it all together. I mean, what's the difference is my point. The Phillies, look at the Phillies over the last handful of years, how much success they've had in the postseason, how many wins they've compiled in regular seasons. They've done it to a larger degree than the Padres. What is really the difference between the way the Phillies have gone about it and the way the Padres have tried to go about it? You know what I mean? The investment, the money is there in Philadelphia. The money is there in San Diego. The deadline, it's like, it just feels like no matter what they do, it's like they ying and then the sport yangs around them.
Well, it's a combination of the players that you have under control, that clubhouse, who your stars are. I think all that has a pretty big impact. Like, who's the leaders of your team? Who keeps the boat and the ship afloat?
True, but I mean, the Padres and Phillies were in a series against each other 3 years ago.
Yeah, and what happened? Bryce Harper outperformed and he took over. Manny Machado shrank again, and they lost in 5. And the pitching was a disaster in Game 4.
True, but Phillies came up small last year in the postseason.
They did,
as a favorite. So I'm saying like that happens, and maybe the Padres will overperform in the postseason. It just feels like we've gone down this path so many times. Like, they put it together. This is the right roster. 2021, 2022, 2023.
I'm just fascinated to see which way this is going to go, because if they end up falling flat on their face against the Cubs, say they're the 5 seed,
and
if they lose that series, we'll be coming on the next day, be like, kind of told you so. Like, the warning signs were there all along. Or they'll flip the script on everything and be like, you losers.
Yeah, you thought we were really going to just roll over?
Exactly.
We were waiting for this moment.
162 games of just kind of like meh, and us being awful on the road all year long. Ha, watch this.
We were waiting for this.
Like, that's what's going to happen. It's either the warning signs were there, we saw this coming all along, or they completely surprise us and do something they haven't done all year long.
How long do you think Mike Schultz speaks to the media? Short, medium, long?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, right? Coming off that loss?
Yeah.
Brent, what do you think? How long do you think Mike Schultz speaks to the media? 5 minutes? What if I told you spoke to the media for 13 minutes and 51 seconds?
Shut up.
I don't know if we'll bring it all to you, but we'll bring you a portion of it on the other side. I can't wait to hear the baseball 13? Theory.
It's just that long because they had to pause for airplanes going over every 20 seconds.
I mean, it's going to be all like theory and who even knows. But we're going to hear from Mike Schilt on the other side. Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up at 3:30. Hour 2, John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Lexus El Cajon. Bring luxury home. Padres and Mets, game 2 of their 3-game series tonight or later this afternoon. 4:10 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Padres still just 2 games back of Dodgers with 11 games remaining. And tonight at 6 p.m. is SDFC Midweek Live. 1 full hour of SDFC talk with Darren and Adrian right here on San Diego Sports 760. This fall, discover why Lexus El Cajon is #1 for customer service with unbeatable offers on new and pre-owned Lexus models in stock. You've got to visit LexusElCajon.com today. Bring luxury home from Lexus El Cajon.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim, and we're with you until 6 p.m. We're getting you ready for Padres and Mets. We'll be talking about week 2 in the NFL on our way to week 3 in the NFL, the latest with the Niners quarterback situation and Brock Purdy as well. But Mike Schilt, when he speaks, Jim, he speaks sometimes. Like today.
Yeah, this is a long Schulty pregame.
What do you think he talks about for third? Like, give me a topic that you think might come up that makes it 13 minutes. It can't solely be about like the game.
I have no idea.
No idea, right?
No clue.
He's gonna be like, "Hey, what do you think of the Mets history and how it's like evolved?"
I guarantee you, there's probably like 6 or 7 minutes in here, which is literally pointless.
Has to be.
But I need to hear it. I need to hear how pointless this is.
Now, I don't know if we're going to play the entirety, but
we'll see how it goes.
Let's see how we're all feeling, all right? As you're driving down the highway,
we don't want to put you to sleep.
Listening on the app, how are we all feeling? This is Mike Schultz just a few moments ago. It starts with a conversation about tonight's starter, Nick Pivetta.
I think he's been, I think it's a good point. I don't know about stronger, but he, to your point, he's been strong all year. He's thrown the ball well, and even coming into spring training, he's, his intensity's matched by, the way he's pitched. It's just big stuff, and he gets after it, and he's coming at people. He's aggressive, and I think he's been, pedal down all year.
Yeah. Do you know what's made him better this year than the previous years? He's always had good stuff, but obviously he's taken it to a different level this year.
Yeah, he has. It's hard to say, Scan. It's almost unfair for me to say. It'd be more of somewhat a hypothetical or, guess rather. But because I don't know much about Nick's history other than, I've never competed against him a ton, and I did research. We did research, talked to people that's had him, and so it's hard for me to really give you a good hypothesis. But I do know that Nick's come in and worked well with our pitching group, worked well with Ruben. Really, gotten a good relationship with our other starters. It's a good group. And I like the fact that part's important. The other starters would, even Joe's a big part of that, even though he hadn't pitched for us this year. And Michael, who's been in and out, and Hughes, who's been in and out, and Dylan, who's been a mainstay. But, you have a lot of experience in that core group. And I know they talk shop and they share thoughts with each other. And that's how guys grow, and they grow each other. And, the other thing is, he's got clarity in how he wants to compete. We play defense behind him, and so a lot of variables for it, probably.
Michael King, just to confirm, you feel okay that everything came out of it physically okay after the outing yesterday?
By all reports, I haven't seen Michael yet. So, I think we've moved the buses back a little bit because of the weather here and batting practice. So I haven't seen Michael, but all reports are that physically came out of it fine yesterday.
Cool. Jose Iglesias, just walking around the stadium the last couple of days, obviously he had a huge presence in this for the Mets last year, but he's had a big presence for you guys too. What is it like to have a veteran guy and the importance of having his presence in the clubhouse, especially maybe at this time of year?
Yeah, it's important. As many people that have gone through, this time of year that you can have that can rely and draw on those experiences and help other people that are going through it is very valuable. It's clear to me also, Scan, yesterday for the game, they did a nice tribute to him. He's here for a year, but made a huge impact and, helped the club get to the championship series last year. And, he's been a guy that we've been able to rely on and are going to rely on tonight to go out in the field. But even when he's not in the field, he's a presence.
Xander, what's the latest? What do you think?
He had another good day yesterday. Texted with him earlier. Got around 6 at bats. Didn't run the bases, but did simulate getting out of the box, and that would check that mark. The video I saw looked really like Xander, looked uninhibited, looked natural, looked free. He ran, cut, and did some angle work in the outfield with some sprinting. That looked good. I didn't get any video of the defense, but I trust the people that are there in Arizona and said it looked good. And then finally, I talked to Xander, and he feels good and is optimistic about the last couple of days. Today's a little bit of a lighter day for him, and then we'll evaluate the next couple of days and see where we're standing. But I was really encouraged from yesterday because the last 2 days, because he had a really heavy day 2 days ago, and that's it was a kind of pushing him a little bit more, and how he recovered and then was able to repeat it again, and now his recovered is very favorable. So beyond that, we'll kind of evaluate his timeline.
Is he doing everything defensively?
Most everything. I mean, still we're limiting the repetitions, but he's worked on double play feeds, pivots, ground balls, tags, but the volume is still being monitored.
You think he'll be in Chicago?
It'll be in Arizona when we're in Chicago to start. Yes, sir.
Somewhat related to Xander, I'm wondering your thoughts on what you've seen from the Cronenworth arise. Middle infield looks like they both kind of really held their own in Xander's absence. Whether kind of when he's back, you can ease him back in by continuing to use that occasionally.
I think when Bogey gets back, he'll be back. He's our starting shortstop. So I would expect so, unless he needs a recovery day from what he's dealing with, and then it's we'll make the adjustment appropriately. I've really been pleased with Crony and Louis. I thought they've done a nice job. Crony made another nice play yesterday on the run coming in. We haven't had as many double play opportunities, but the ones we've had, we've executed, and I think they've both done just fine.
Is there any chance Xander could be back ready to hit the age before he'd be ready to play the field?
I don't think we really view it in that way. There may be a chance, but I think what's running in concert right now is, his defense and his hitting. If he can hit, he can play defense.
Darvish has been kind of giving up home runs the last few games. Do you think what he's missing?
That's a good question. What's the one thing that's been getting us more recently in general with our pitching? We've given up some balls that have left the ballpark. I don't know that the answer would be different specific to you or just in general. It's just really about pitch execution, just getting balls that are, I think, and we haven't been in too many bad counts, sometimes it's count dictated, but, in Hugh's case, it's been a little bit different because he's been throwing a lot of strikes and making a lot of quality pitches. And then that one that gets out over, it's interesting. I don't have a great answer for it. I wish I did. How you can explain how sometimes you get away with it and sometimes you just don't. And it feels like right now, whether it's you or, other guys, especially early in the game, we just, and more so with our starters, but we're just not getting away with the mistakes.
All right, so that's the first half of the trilogy. What's longer, that or Star Wars?
Oh, that.
What has more of a plot twist?
I could watch a 2-hour Star Wars movie and it not feel as long as listening to Mike Schultz speak for 13 minutes.
What else could he possibly talk about? I mean, we could play more of it.
What else could be asked?
What else could be asked? What did
about
we
the
not
division?
cover? Yeah, Dodgers. Something about the
give me the
Mets.
meat and potatoes. I don't give a crap about, hey, so what do you think of Nick Pivetta tonight? What?
Well, it's the daily routine.
I know.
Hey, it's before the game.
It's the programmed, here's the first 2 questions. It will always be about the starting pitching. And then it will be maybe about the opponent or something. I don't know. But
I mean, he did address one of the elephants that I do think is in the room, which is all the starters do right now is allow home runs. He's like, it's not you, He was asked about you, Darvish, allowing a lot of home runs. He's like, kind of like, with all due respect, it's not just you, Darvish, allowing home runs. I mean, look at yesterday with Michael King. I mean, they have to cut down on all of that. I don't know what it is, but they're falling behind seemingly way too much. It seems like they're trailing 75% of the time early. And that has not been a good combination for them. So maybe it changes tonight with Nick Pivetta. they need Pivetta to pitch well today. The Padres are an underdog tonight at Citi Field against the Mets. Mets have not played great, but they've won their last 2 games, and they need it like the Padres need it. And what will we be saying today if the Padres don't win? Like, at some point, you're going to have to play well against a good team. I don't know what we'll say if they don't win tonight.
Well, this is the last chance to tune things up before the postseason, where you most likely will be on the road against a good team. Cubs, they just clinched today.
Right.
So they're going to be the 4 seed. I don't know where they're at in comparison to the Brewers in the division.
They're still a few games behind them. I don't think it's very realistic they win the division, right? They got to be 4 or 5 games behind the Brewers.
They're 4.5 behind the Brewers. That feels like it's done.
Unlikely.
They're 5 back in the loss.
Very unlikely.
Yeah. With 11 to go or 12 to go. If
you go 11-0, something like that.
But you got to go to Chicago on the road. It's already a tough place to play in October. And you haven't shown at any point this year how you can play well against a winning team in the postseason on the road. They had
really.
one win or one series win on the road this year. They went to Chicago early in the season. I wouldn't take much away from that series.
Sure.
I mean, Nick Pivetta did pitch, and he did not pitch well in the game that he pitched at Wrigley, and they lost 2 or 3. They probably should have got swept.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, taking the next 2 here from the Mets, at least they'll give you, as a fan, a little confidence going into a postseason series that would start on the road. Because if they lose one of the next 2 games here, or even worse, get swept by the Mets, is any fan going to feel confident with this team going on the road to Wrigley Field?
Some fans will. Like I was told yesterday, Jim, and on the wrap-up show as well, like, this was always going to happen with Michael King. That he needed to get his work in before the postseason. He's got plenty of time to still get ready for the postseason. I'm like, okay. Yeah, this was the plan for him to allow 8 runs on 10 hits and 4 home runs at Citi Field. Like, no, this was not the plan, right? Like, you can't excuse away what happened yesterday with Michael King. Brent, have you listened to what goes on over the last 7 minutes?
Please tell me it's good.
Is there anything interesting?
There's about a 3.5 minute answer about sacrifice bunts.
We have to play that.
Oh, I need to hear that.
I'm so excited.
I need to hear that.
We're going to hear that on the other side. Plus, Kevin AC will join us at 3:30. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaefer again, and there is no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer with new vehicles arriving daily, including their most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, hurry into your Toyota dealer today, or make sure to head to Toyota.com. If you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota, there you can check out all the latest offers and search inventory. Finding the Toyota that's just right for you starts at Toyota.com. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles helps to create a greener planet. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup supports a greener planet with a wide range of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric vehicles. Or take each day further than you thought possible in a new Camry with its stylish looks that'll make an impression wherever you go. See your Toyota dealer today and discover what makes Camry legendary. There's no better time than now to get your local Toyota dealer. Get your local Toyota dealer today or Toyota.com. That's Toyota.com. Your Toyota dealers, we make it easy. All right, Kevin Acey will join us from New York in about 12 minutes. We should get back to Mike Schilt, though. Now that we're learning that there's a 3.5 minute diatribe about bunting.
3.5 minutes. I cannot wait.
All right, so where do we pick this up right now? Or do we pick this up with the bunt conversation? All right, we're going to pick this up with Mike Schilt and the bunt conversation.
Mike, you guys lead the league in sacrifice bunts by a pretty wide margin, and I'm just like the bunt has kind of gone out of favor the last however many years in baseball. What's the reason for the increase in the propensity for bunting right now with you guys?
It's multi-factored. First of all, we play a lot of close games, and we've been able to establish a winning record in close games, and so you do what the game calls for. We've had a good bullpen, making sure we can get a lead, and not that we want to hold on for dear life, because sometimes we do that too. But we want to make sure we're bringing our guys in with that lead. The biggest thing for me about it is, and listen, I understand the value of an out, and there's a couple of different ways of looking at it. So there's going to be outs made. We clearly know, and we talk about this with our group about slug and how important slug is. And listen, we want to hit homers. We hit a couple last night, 3, and have swung the bat well and driven the ball to the ballpark. We are pro homer. All right. So let's make that clear. The other thing about it is, a lot of times the team that makes the most productive outs has the best chance to win the game. And the point that I'm really tickled about is our players have the freedom to see the game, and we trust them to feel what's taking place in their at bat. So, people, Jackson, for an example, he hits a homer the other way, and then the next day, first and second, he's bunting. Well, it's not the same pitcher that's throwing. And just in general, if a guy, the guy being the hitter, is taking in a bat and he's not as comfortable, whether it's a left on left, just a tough matchup, the hitter that particular day is not feeling great. These guys are human, and they go, okay, I'm not seeing the ball really great off this particular guy. So let me figure out a way to pass the baton, and do that. And I would say that's probably half of our sacrifice bunts, where guys are in a situation where, because think about a sacrifice bunt situation. What are you also in? You're also in a position where you could hit into a double play. All right. And if a guy's not feeling good about a matchup, and if a guy's a high ground ball guy, and he goes, okay, I can move this guy, stay out of the double play, and move a guy from first, second, or second to third, or both. And then you go, all right, and now we hit a sac fly. We've had good at bats. We've been able to chase to score a run. And I've gone round and around, and but that's the part of the analytic world that doesn't get factored in, because in a silo, I understand giving up a third of your inning isn't something that I personally want to do consistently. But if we can make a productive out and allow us to help score a run and win a game, then
okay. Tell me. First of all,
that's a whole show right there, dude.
First off, I just want to apologize to everyone out there listening, watching us on YouTube, listening on the iHeartRadio app, listening in your cars, that we put you through that 3.5 minutes of Mike Schilt talking about bunting.
He used the word tickled.
He did.
When talking about bunting.
He did.
You're not going to get bunt coverage like this anywhere else.
You are not. No, we are the leaders in bunt coverage.
That's one thing in San Diego separates us from our competition.
Exactly. Yeah, we talk about bunting.
We talk a lot of bunting.
Let me ask you this: do you think that whole 3.5 minute word vomit answer could be just summed up to we can't hit home runs,
and I don't trust our offense?
Exactly.
He kind of said that. Honestly, he kind of said it without saying it. Like, Mike, it's not 1977.
No.
Are you really going to win a World Series with this strategy? Maybe. If you're the best bunting team ever, and if you're so good situationally, maybe. You do all that, and then Bryce Harper hits a 2-run home run.
The excuse of, maybe the next day the guy doesn't see that pitcher well. You know how many times in baseball these guys, some of the best hitters in the league, are like, I'm not really seeing that guy well. So by that logic, you're
Shouldn't everyone be
basically
bunting?
you should have those players be bunting when they can't see a pitcher well. What?
It sounded to me pretty defeatist. It was like, you do recognize that when you're bunting, there's also men on base. And with men on base, you know what could happen? You could hit into a double play. Well, what kind of attitude is that? You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at it from like a very conservative approach heading in to the sequence. He literally looks at it and even admitted there. He's like, we don't like holding on for dear life, but at times we've had to hold on for dear life. Dear life. He admitted that they play for a run. Like they basically, like we'd rather give up the chance of a 4-run inning to play for the run.
Yeah,
because we'll move the runner, we'll get the out.
He doesn't have faith in his offense to put up those big innings. So at minimum, he's trying to just get a run across the board. And this has been happening most of the year with this team, where they play for the 1-run inning instead of the big inning. And I would argue most of the time it comes back to backfire on them. Now, I'm not saying it never works, right? They have had games where they play the small ball and they bunt guys over, hit them in with a sac fly, and it works out. But it doesn't work out all the time. It doesn't even work out a majority of the time, because the mental mindset that this team is now being that they've put themselves in is, we need to play for just a run this inning if we get a runner on with less than 2 outs, or at least less than 1 out.
You ever play roulette?
I don't.
But
actually.
you play outside or inside? Outside, red or black?
Yeah.
Kind of conservative, right? It's either red or black, so you put it on red or black. You want to play aggressively, you play numbers, right? There's 36 numbers.
I'm not good at numbers.
But like sometimes you got to live a little. The advantage of playing a number is it hits 35-1. The advantage of hitting red is it pays 1-1.
Yeah.
Like you have to play for a larger inning occasionally, and maybe they do occasionally. But if they think the strategy to win the World Series is go win every game 3-2, they're mistaken. And it's played out in the regular season, and we've watched it with this bullpen here over the last few weeks. It's hard to hold a 1-run lead all game long. So I'm not advocating for giving up an out to potentially move a runner, unless there's a you're at home, it's the 9th inning, it's 1-1, it's first and second, nobody out. You only need 1 run to win the game.
Yeah.
Like there's reasons to do it, but I can't be sold on first inning reasons. And they've bunted in the first inning. They've squared to bunt in Colorado in the first 2 innings.
Yep. I think that is just the worst possible strategy early in a game to lay down bunts. And by early, I mean like 5th or 6th inning, like sooner.
Yeah.
You know, if we're getting late in the game, 7th, 8th, 9th, obviously, and you're tied or you just need a run, like you have an opportunity there, like, okay, yeah, deploy the bunt.
Yep. Deploy it.
But if you're doing that in the 4th, the 2nd, the 1st, it is just an idiotic strategy. And it just puts a really bad mindset with your team that you're only playing for 1 run in these games.
Kevin
in those moments.
Kevin was there for it. He's going to join us on the other side. His thought on Mike Schilt's bunt philosophy. Plus, is Michael King a lock to start game 2 of the postseason for the Padres and more? Kevin Acee joins us live from New York next on John and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres and Mets, game 2 of their 3-game series later this afternoon. 4:10 first pitch. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Padres somehow are still 2 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. We'll see if either team wants to win the National League West. And tonight at 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live, 1 full hour of SDFC talk with Darren and Adrian right here in your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Need HVAC this month? Get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. That's Anderson, fast, reliable, wow.
All right, back to New York where Kevin AC is. Padres and Mets will play game 2 tonight in about 40 minutes. If you were guessing where I would start, Kevin, I don't think you would guess what I'm about to say. Because you think I'm thinking what, Michael? What do you think I'm going to ask you?
Last time it was so easy. Is it the Dodgers and Padres and no one wants to win the West? Is that it?
That would be a good path. Is it Michael King?
That's not it.
Is it Michael King?
It's not Michael King. That's too obvious.
I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay? Because you're never going to guess it.
That'd probably be better.
Okay? Yeah. Because you're never going to guess it. You were there, I'm pretty sure, for it. The 3.5-minute Mike Schilt diatribe on the philosophy of bunting. It just played out. I want to ask you about that. So you were there you took it all in.
What was that experience like for you?
Hey, what was that like? And you buy what he's selling? The reason I ask it, it's almost like from a defensive mindset. Like, hey, sometimes there's guys, when you're bunting, there's guys on base, and it's better than hitting into a double play. What did you make of the 3-minute Mike Schilt bunting discussion?
I'd heard all of it in different bits before. There was a New York writer that asked about it. So, it was all new there to put it all into one. Look, there's one thing I'll defend. He knows his team better than anyone else. Now, and do I think that they go overboard? Do I think they give outs away? Sure. I mean, right. But there's a lot of what he says. Guys that, like, until recently, who was hitting the 3-run homer on this team? Like, that's what I was thinking about during it. I'm like, when you listen to it, I was honestly thinking with my head down, because sometimes I gotta, when he gets going on something, I gotta hide my face because I'm not good at hiding my reaction to things. And so I got my head down. I'm thinking, when you listen to it in the vein of Mike Schilt knows his team best, everything he's saying right here makes sense. And I was glad that he acknowledged some things like, giving away outs and all that stuff. And you can tell, you guys have listened to him enough. I can tell you listen to him with kind of the eye toward his defensiveness and all that. You can tell that he knows that he's being, questioned about it. And some of his thoughts are unnecessary to give. Like, do you believe in it or not, Mike? And he clearly does. And, honestly, guys, like, they hit 3 home runs last night. Now, of course, it was extenuating circumstances with Michael King, but like, the team that they are, I believe that's the team they need to be the rest of the season. Unless Jackson Merrill's going to be this guy and Machado's going to be hitting home runs, and hey, that's certainly better. But Mike Schilt's the guy who has to live with what his team is capable of, and clearly he doesn't think they're capable of hitting 3 home runs a game.
Yeah, and there's only 11 games remaining. So is it even fair to ask this team to, hey, we need to start hitting home runs and turn into that team now when they haven't been that all year?
Yeah, I've been saying it for weeks, like that, hey, like, this is a problem. The lack of slugs, it's a problem. But they've been winning a lot of games by playing this other brand of baseball from 1974, and that, it's worked for them. So which do you want? And so, that's what I was thinking during the whole thing is like, gosh, I've lived this all year. This is kind of interesting, but all right, whatever.
Yeah, well, we all know what he was trying to say. He just can't bring himself to say what we all know he should be saying.
Or could be.
Could be saying, right, exactly. The concern level after last night for Michael King is where?
Well, I think it's got to be high because he, like he said, got a lot to prove in his next one, right? So I think that it has to be high. Now, if you're going to believe in a guy who makes adjustments, if you're going to believe in a guy who has, at least while he's been with the Padres, when he's been a starter, bounce back from a bad start. Now, is he going to do that when it's his third start in 4 months or whatever it is? Like, a lot of questions. So that's why I say the concern is high. Now, I would think, and it's a little unfair to, but like, I think you have a higher level of optimism for Michael King than you would for Dylan Cease. And that's because we've watched Dylan Cease all year, and you feel a certain type of way about Dylan Cease. So you're giving Michael King the benefit of the doubt, but he was the more consistent pitcher last year too. So, but yeah, my answer is high, with the caveat that, hey, and maybe it's just me saying, look, if Michael King ain't good, then the Padres ain't good. So.
Well, do you think that have they set what they hope to do with the postseason rotation? The reason I ask it is JP Sears threw the other day, they move guys back, and you start doing the math on the movement, and it aligns like Pivetta, obviously, and then it had aligned Michael King. I guess things can change, as in if King goes out there in Chicago on Sunday and gives up 5 runs in 3 innings against the White Sox, maybe at some point you're going to say, well, he can't pitch a second game of the postseason for us. So do you feel like they're still anticipating Michael King as their game 2 playoff starter?
I do, and it could go down to, unless there's something that they identify, right? It could go down to the last start, right? I mean, the guy's figuring it out as he goes, and so he went out there, and they were going to let him go in the 4th inning. He got his 4th up, which is very important, right? Like he has to be built up. So whether they were punting on that game last night, which no surprise, but you got to have Michael King go back out there, and he's got to get built up. And so he goes out and gets 5, and then I'm thinking you start introducing Randy Vasquez into the conversation, but you're also going to go into Michael King's final start and say, okay, where's he at? Now that said, that it's the beginning or the middle of next week, depending on when they clinch and depending on how far behind the Dodgers they are, that they need to start setting it up. Now, that final off day on Thursday is what really allows them to set it up, but they need to start setting up their rotation. So it'd be really good for them if Michael King could bounce back on Sunday.
What's the latest with Xander and his timetable to return?
Maybe sometime in Chicago. That's a pretty easy hop, Arizona to Chicago, American Airlines. He could work Friday and, run the bases. And then it's like, okay, we're good. And he could be there and play Saturday or play Sunday. But that's obviously like the best case scenario. But supposedly no setbacks. He just hasn't checked all of the boxes yet.
But sooner rather than later, which is encouraging, obviously, for Bogaerts and the Padres. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He joins us from New York. So I'm sure we asked you about this Monday. What do you make of how this is playing out in the NLS, where no one seemingly really wants it based on their play? Padres still, I think you go to Fangraphs right now, they have a 10% chance of winning the division. It's not nothing. It's still not overly likely. So how do you view it now with 11 games to play?
I think predictions are hilarious. I'm wondering, what is it that their 20,000 simulations are missing about the Padres and Dodgers, who just can't, it's just amazing. It's amazing. If you look at what is it, one time this month where the Dodgers have lost quite a bit. I forget what their 2 records are, but only one time the Dodgers have lost and the Padres have won. So they game to game. Wow. And then I think it's twice that the Padres have lost and the Dodgers have won. And they've either lost or won on the same day. It's like, and they just keep losing. And it's, what do I make of it? Like, it's what everyone was saying, but they were sort of excluding the Dodgers and then the Padres when they got the super pen. And at different times, people have been high on different teams in the NL, but hasn't the theme been that there's no great team, right? Well, it seems like the Phillies are peaking, and it seems like the Brewers are more sustainable than people thought. Seems like the Cubs are peaking. I don't know that they're great or unbeatable or anything, but there are no great teams. There just aren't. I think the top of the AL is tough. That's what I think. And so I think it'll be a fascinating postseason.
If the Padres don't come back and win the next 2 games in New York, they will officially be 1-10. We'll see what happens with the Diamondbacks. But against playoff teams right now, 1-10 on the road, and having to potentially open up on the road here at Wrigley. I mean, the confidence level isn't going to be, I mean, not inside that clubhouse, but just from everyone around the team, feels like the confidence level won't be very high.
Won't be very high. And heck, look, what that means too is that just overall that they haven't been, right? So I don't know that the confidence level in there will be great. They'll tell themselves and they'll tell us that it is. And I will always point out that, lots of teams that have won the World Series or went to the World Series look terrible in September at times. I'll always point that out. But then there's also lots of teams that look terrible in September and we're one and done. So I don't know that their confidence level is going to be terribly high. Not that stat isn't also interesting, intriguing, important, maybe, but it also just contributes to like the overall suckiness of their September.
Right. Yeah, it's fair. That's a fair point. Who do you think? Maybe we asked you this Monday. I mean, time is a flat circle, but do you think this series?
And this team keeps doing the same thing over and over. So
Exactly.
yeah, we're all just keep talking about the same stuff.
Is this? Are the next 2 days more important for the Padres or the Mets?
Well, the Mets are chasing them, and their Mets are chasing them, and the math says, not like how each team is going, but just the simple math says it's going to be really hard, close to impossible for the Mets to catch the Padres. Now, that takes the human factor out, right? That's just that, like, they're 4 games back, which means they have to be 4 games better. And it's still 4, right? So they actually have to be 5 games better, because I'm pretty sure, unless it breaks perfectly, like where the Padres were swept by the Diamondbacks and the Mets were swept or sweep the Nationals and the Marlins, meaning the second tiebreaker of intra-division. If the Mets were to sweep them and then they were tied in the season series, and then that means the tiebreaker would go to inter-division and the Padres win that. All right. So the Mets are actually like 4+ games back. Mathematically, very difficult for them to catch the Padres. So more important for them. That said, the Padres, it's not about making the playoffs anymore. Like, they need to win. That's what I'm talking about to guys about now. Not that anyone's giving me these great answers. So if they had it, they would figure it out. But they have to start freaking playing better. 11 games is a long time. They can play better, right? Baseball is best digested like every 5 to 7 days, okay? They can play better. But 11 games is not a lot of time, too. So they need to win.
No doubt about it. Yeah, they're not going to lose and win this division or lose and even potentially be the 5 seed. I mean, it's just been it's just been fascinating to watch it play out. It feels like they've had opportunities that they haven't taken advantage of, but here we are. We'll see with 11 games to play in the regular season.
In the postseason, they won't lose. They won't lose a road game.
No, it's so hard to predict.
Remember, go back and look. And I don't know exactly how this all came about. Obviously, I don't cover that team. Look at how bad for I think 2, maybe 3 stretches the Texas Rangers were in 2023.
Right.
And then they went on to win the World Series.
What did they do at the end though? They got a little hot at the end, right?
Yeah.
I think, right? Didn't they had to win a few games to get in, or maybe not. Maybe they had already secured it. But they were horrid in 2023 at the end of the season, and they basically were undefeated on the road, by the way, on their way to the World Series championship.
Well, maybe that's the strategy the Padres are using. Hey, guys, did you watch the Rangers? Keep losing.
Yeah.
Trust us.
And also, can we get Bochy over here before the postseason starts?
Yeah, that might help too. Kevin, appreciate it. We'll catch up with you from Chicago this weekend.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Kevin AC, our Padres Insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We react on the other side, plus the wrap coming up at 4 p.m. Plus, we have tickets to give away today for San Diego State and Cal Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, wrap coming up at 4 p.m. We have Aztec tickets to give away in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk Aztecs football with Andre Hagverdian, covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. So he'll join us live at 5 p.m. The Padres' magic number to clinch the postseason has gone down from 6 to 5 because Arizona was in front of San Francisco. Arizona just lost to San Francisco. So the Padres' magic number has gone from 6 to 5. And I still see the chatter like, this team's not going to the playoffs. What are you going to say when they're locked into the playoffs? They are going to the playoffs. Like, I don't know if people don't get math. I know that because people don't get math. Jim doesn't get math. But even Jim recognizes the Padres are going to the playoffs. They could lose tonight. Doesn't matter. They're going to the playoffs.
If they win tonight, then their number goes to 4.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have the math is on their side significantly with 11 games to play.
Yeah.
I mean, they could theoretically lose out. And if the team that is out loses 5 more times, they're still going to the playoffs.
I have to believe that this team is going to
not lose out.
Not lose out, but also like take care of the White Sox this weekend, 2 or 3 at worst. Play well at home for the final 6 games of the year. And even if they just go 500, the remaining, or no, not 500 because they can't go 500 because 11 games.
6 and
6
5,
and 5.
5 and 6,
yeah, 5 and 6, 6 and 5. They're in the postseason.
Right.
Like 87, 88 wins, probably it's going to get it done.
Well, it definitely will.
It will.
These 5 wins, they're guaranteed to go because their magic number is 5.
Will it get you a division title? Probably, maybe not. We'll see what happens.
No, yeah.
But the likelihood of going 6 and 5 down the stretch and you winning the division, pretty slim. Unless the Dodgers also fall off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 conversations. I mean, one of the conversations is, is this a playoff team? Yeah, they're going to be a playoff team. The other conversation is, can they win once they make the postseason? And the truth is, nobody really knows. I mean, I have no idea. I'm not going to be surprised. If they lose in the first round, we'll say, well, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
They didn't play well down the stretch. If they win in the postseason, we'll say, wow, they did the same thing in 2022. They were an underdog at Citi Field against the Mets in 2022.
Right.
They were not expected to win that series. Once it went to a 3rd game, they were an underdog in that game with Musgrove on the mound. They won that game. They were then an underdog in a significant one against the Dodgers. They were annihilated in the opening game of that 5-game series.
Yeah, here's the good thing about when the postseason starts. You wipe the slate clean.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever happened in the regular season, I'm not saying none of it matters because obviously it does, but to the point of hey, we're in. We have a good chance to win a World Series. We got to go out there and play good baseball. We're not thinking about losing that Friday night game 3 weeks ago to the Rockies or losing that game at Citi Field, giving up 7,000 home runs. We're not thinking about that. We're thinking about winning 1 game here tonight at Wrigley Field and then moving on to the next game and then the next game. You play every game in the postseason almost like it's a game 7, depending on what your mindset is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you do everything you possibly can to win that game in the postseason, unless you're Dave Roberts, who likes to praise that he punted games in the postseason to help him. And look, he got the last laugh because they won the World Series. But when it comes postseason time, there will be concerns for sure. But everybody should be excited because they have a chance.
I was going to say, is the postseason really going to start? And if the Padres are in it, are you really going to be like they have no shot? Is that really going to be the mentality of the fan base? You think you're not going to watch game? You just watched 162 games, and now you're not going to watch game 1 at Wrigley Field because they went 5 and 6 down the stretch.
I'm not going to watch the postseason.
You know what? I know I've seen everything I need to see.
Yeah.
This team, I was being told yesterday on the wrap-up show, they can't possibly win in the postseason. They'll be out in 2 games. And I laugh at that because that's nonsensical. Mm-hmm. I literally laugh at that. The Phillies were a 6 seed. They made a World Series. The Diamondbacks were a 5 seed. They made a World Series. Anything can happen. And the fact that you could consume as much Padres baseball as people do all year long and then be so down on them when the postseason starts to think that they have no shot or it's not worth watching, that to me is so backwards. It makes no sense.
This will go one of 2 ways in the postseason when they get there. Either when they lose and how they lose, it'll probably be a byproduct of their weaknesses as a team, which is their offense. And we'll sit here the next day and say the warning signs were there and they didn't have it, right? This is the team, how they played all year long, and it bled into the postseason. And, their biggest weakness is the thing that took them out, right? Or we'll be saying they flipped the script and they played a different brand of baseball, and they got energized, and they rode the wave all the way to hopefully a World Series. Like that's the path we're going here. They're not going to play the way they've played all year long and get to a World Series. They're going to have to get hot. They're going to have to play much better. And they're going to have a brand of baseball that isn't from the 1970s, which is you're going to need a little pop. You're going to need a little luck. And you can't be giving up as many outs in the postseason as you've given up in the regular season. And you got to pitch better and the bullpen and all that stuff, right?
I mean, wasn't it a year ago that 3 of the wild card road teams won the series? Isn't it all time? In the last 2 years, this format, I think all time the road team has won 5 of the 8 series. The underdog has won 5 of the. It might be 6.
Maybe that might suit the Padres better.
That's what I'm saying. Like again, like this idea, and it's honestly it's more of like the vocal minority. This idea that they can't win, it's not possible. Like we all know it's inevitable that they can't. What are we talking about? Because they lost to the Mets last night, they can't beat the Cubs in 2 weeks. That I can't tie the two together. So they lost to the Mets last night at Citi Field. They can't beat the Cubs in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me that it works. It's not as simple as that.
No, it isn't. It's not as simple. It's not black and white.
No, it's not. It's not. And listen, I get it. I mean, are there reasons for alarm? Yeah, there's going to be reasons for alarm unless they turn this thing around over the final 11 days of the regular season. That continues again tonight with the Padres taking on the Mets in game 2 of this series. We'll see if Nick Pivetta can turn things around for San Diego. We're going to get to the wrap on the other side. We're going to hear from Colin Cowherd. We'll switch gears to the NFL in the 4 o'clock hour. And again, at 5 p.m., Andre Hagverdian. He covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. He'll get us ready for San Diego State and Cal. We're here until 6 p.m. We've got Aztec football tickets to give away for Saturday night. We'll do that in the 4 o'clock hour. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres and Mets about to get underway in New York. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. The Padres are trying to win game 2 here of the 3-game series. Padres still trail the Dodgers by 2 games in the National League West because the Dodgers keep losing as well. Dodgers play the Phillies tonight in LA. And tonight at 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live, 1 full hour of SDFC talk right here on your home of San Diego FC, San Diego Sports 760. Need HVAC this month? Get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable, wow.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim, and we'll be joined in 1 hour by Andre Hagverdian. Covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. We'll get you ready for Saturday night, San Diego State and Cal. In fact, if you missed Justin Allegri, the radio voice of Cal, you'll hear our conversation coming up at 4:30. We're going to hear from Colin Cowherd this hour as well. Keep you updated on the Padres and the Mets, too. And, oh, by the way, this hour, we will give away tickets to see the Aztecs and the Golden Bears Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium, a game you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. So be listening for that, but it is 4 p.m., so let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
We had a bigger night last night. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh, or Shohei Ohtani?
Well,
I'm going to take every excuse to say the big dumper I can.
Well, we need because we have a bunch of bobbleheads on our studio here. We need a Cal Raleigh big dumper bobblehead because I'm pretty sure it's his like butt and it jiggles.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's got a big butt on it. Yeah,
it's a big butt, the big dumper bobblehead.
That's hilarious.
It's Cal Raleigh. His team won the game. Shohei Ohtani's team lost the game. Cal Raleigh had what, 2 home runs?
2. Most homers ever hit by a switch hitter in a single season in baseball history.
Right now, Shohei Ohtani's playing on like the Angels. 5 shutout innings for Ohtani, 50th home run. Dodgers lose 9-6.
Yeah, but he has 50 strikeouts this year.
Is that the dumbest tweet?
What does that even mean? That's so dumb. That would be like if someone said, hey, this is the first player ever with 3 home runs and 2 sac flies in the game. Who cares about the sac flies? 50 strikeouts for a pitcher, is that an accomplishment to pitch and have 50 strikeouts? What's the accomplishment?
Oh,
every pitcher is 50 strikeouts.
I completely read that wrong.
What did you think it was? So is he struck out 50 times?
Yeah.
You're such a I can't do it. End the show.
Dude,
end the show. Is the Odd Couple on? Just put them on. You're such an idiot. Are you serious? This is like that other during the back page where I said the same thing. I can't even fathom this level of absurdity. You thought he struck out 50? It's never an accomplishment when you do something bad.
I thought ESPN was like, he's struck out 50 times this year, but he also hit 50 home runs. So it didn't make sense to me, dude. There's a lot going on here today. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but
okay?
that still does not. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on.
It didn't compute. Like it did not compute in my head that they're talking about as a pitcher. He struck out 50 guys.
Dude.
Maybe if they worded it differently.
I mean, how else could you word it?
Struck out 50 batters instead of 50 strikeouts on the year?
He struck out, where was it? 173 times this year.
Of course he has. He's a hitter. By the way, you know how many strikeouts Stephen Kolek has this year? Stephen Kolek.
Who?
Stephen Kolek. How many strikeouts he had for the Padres? 56. Wandy Peralta, 58. Yuki Matsui, 6. Every pitcher in the major leagues has 50 strikeouts. That's nothing.
So let me read this to you. My brain is mush. Shohei Ohtani becomes the first player in Major League Baseball history with 50 homers and 50 strikeouts in the same season.
Yeah.
If you're reading that and you're an idiot like myself, very quickly when you read it, 50 strikeouts, can't you say 50 homers and
struck out 50 batters?
Struck out 50 batters in the same season?
Yeah, but it sounds better to be like 50-50. What is the question?
I'm sorry. With a better night.
By the way, Ohtani went 5 hitless innings yesterday. But I'll say Cal Raleigh because he's got the most home runs ever hit by a switch hitter in a single season. At 56, he's tied the Mariners' all-time record for most homers in a season with Griffey.
Is that good?
It's Cal Raleigh. And like you said, the Mariners won the game. Next question.
Who should start for the Padres in Game 2 of the playoffs?
If they get there.
Well, if they get to
I'm
game
kidding.
Kidding.
Tough question because Michael King was going to be my answer if he didn't implode in on himself last night. How about this?
Okay.
I'll go Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish should start game 2 for the Padres?
Yep. History at Wrigley Field.
That's interesting, yeah.
He's pitched well there. I'll go with the guy that has a little bit of history and good history at Wrigley Field with Yu Darvish. And then Michael King as your game 3 starter isn't that bad. Isn't bad. It's better than Dylan Cease.
The thing is, you can't really hide pitchers in the postseason. That's the thing. Like, if King's not good enough for game 2, is he good enough for game 3? But then again, where else are you turning? To your point. So, who should start game 2? Bullpen day. Honestly, I don't think anyone's really earned it.
Start Mason Miller.
Start Mason Miller and have him get success. I don't know. It's a very hard question for me to answer. I think it'll be like we'll just figure it out by watching these last 11 games, and someone will do something well. And because of that, they'll be the game 2 starter. But it's hard to answer right now. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Next question.
Who's the best team in the National League?
Good question. I'll go with the Phillies. I think the Phillies are the best team. They feel like they have it all. The lineup, they have the star power that is actually producing, right? Schwarber's got 50-some home runs.
Right.
Bryce Harper's putting up a sneaky good season. He's got almost 30 bombs on the year. They can mash. They can pitch. They got a pretty good bullpen. Not a great bullpen. Johan Duran, the closer they picked up from the Twins at the deadline, has been fantastic for them, even though he did give up a game-tying home run the other night against Andy Pajes. But other than that, he's been phenomenal for them. I think the Phillies are the best team in the National League.
They are 15-4 here down the stretch.
Wow.
So based on their performance, based on play, not overall record, because overall record, Milwaukee's got still the best record, although that could change with the way Philadelphia's playing. They're 15-4. They're winning after clinching. Like, that's what happened yesterday at Dodger Stadium. They close, very manageable close. Now they'll go to Arizona, we'll see, but then Miami at home, Minnesota at home. They could roll into the postseason and potentially get the 1 seed in the National League.
And they should have lost last night's game. Any other team,
would have lost.
After the celebration they had, clinching the division on Monday night.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going out the next day and you're like, you're all hungover. It's the hungover game. And they went out in the first 5 innings, like, okay, yeah, Dodgers are going to roll here. 5 hitless from 4-0. Yeah, it's over. And then the Dodgers bullpen said, hold my beer.
Which they've done a lot this year.
It was a very impressive win last night for the Phillies.
And by the Jesus Luzardo, Blake Snell tonight in game
Good matchup.
3. What was even the question? Who's the best team? I think it's the Phillies. I think right now, based on their play, doesn't mean they're going to the World Series, but I do think it's the Phillies. Next question.
Who should start this weekend at quarterback for the 49ers?
Well, Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan today said that there's a chance he could play. He was limited in practice today.
Okay.
There's also talk of maybe he's suited, but like not out there, like Mac Jones starts.
Gotcha.
I say give him another week. I think
it's a long year.
Give him another week. It's a long year. You know, have Mac Jones go out there, and if he performs well, that's great because then you're 3-0.
Yep.
And that's with your backup quarterback out there and some pretty big injuries to some really key guys. And it just gives you more time to bring back Brock. And then Kittle will return in a couple of weeks. And then Brandon Ayuk will return in like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. And then you have, a good start to the season, which is, if you win on Sunday against the Cardinals, I say give him another week. Doesn't hurt to have him go out there and be limited in practice and test it out, see how he feels.
Sure.
But I think I think you start Mac Jones this weekend.
Mac Jones. The thing I would say is
please don't be Mac Jones. Please don't be Mac Jones.
And when Mac Jones throws an interception on Sunday, I will immediately say I should have started Brock Purdy. Yeah.
Although when Purdy threw a pick in week 1, you said the season was over.
Correct.
Since he's dealing with a toe, Like that scares me based on what's happening here with Joe Burrow. Like, why rush a guy back? It's too long of a year. Is your goal to beat the Cardinals in week 3, or is your goal to make a postseason run? It's like you have to be cautious when you have large goals. Like their goal is not to start 3-0. I'm sure it helps them reach their goal being 3-0, but they won last week. So they're capable of winning even without Brock Purdy. I would just err on the side of caution because there's no reason not to really. There's no compelling argument to say, got to be aggressive here. We have to be 3-0. We have to use him come hell or high water because what if you do regret it? And what if there is some type of setback?
And they're not operating as an organization worried about the dumb takes from Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright.
They may be.
To bring back Brock Purdy so there won't be a quote-unquote QB controversy if Mac Jones continues to play well. That will be, formulated by the media.
That's what they're saying
publicly.
publicly.
Don't watch the Niners on a daily basis.
Maybe they're making all these decisions based on what Colin is saying.
And Nick Wright? Like,
potentially.
Like, guys, we got to get Brock out there to make Colin have a different opinion on them.
We got Cronenworth to short.
We did.
Colin Cowherd
can't
have a quarterback battle in San Francisco. Let's go to the phones here with Larry, 877-767-4760. Larry, you're on with John and Jim. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Hey, we were talking about Ohtani having 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Jim.
I know.
Kyle Schwarber had 50 home runs plus this year, and he's probably got 50 strikeouts too. I thought I'd just point that out.
Yeah, it's true.
Thanks.
Well, I think every 50 home run hitter in the history of baseball has struck out 50 times.
Do you think Cal Raleigh has a 50-50 season?
I think every 50 homer season.
He's probably struck out 50 times from each side of the plate.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're just making up 50-50 years, or we're making up these new milestones in baseball.
What
because
do you
of
think is
Ohtani.
more impressive? 50 homers, 50 steals with the larger bases and the new pickoff rules, or 50 homers and 50 strikeouts on the mound in 2025?
Oh, bunt.
First inning, they're bunting. Time is a flat circle. Hey, leadoff single, move them over. So dumb.
What was the question about Ohtani?
Which season was better? 50-50, the actual 50-50, or 50-50 with 50 strikeouts?
Probably 50 homers, 50 strikeouts.
Honestly, that's the funny thing. Maybe that is more impressive because he didn't pitch last year. So maybe that is more impressive, truthfully.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue on the NFL on the other side. Again, at 4:30, if you missed our conversation with Justin Allegri, he calls games for the Cal Golden Bears. They are red hot heading into this weekend showdown with San Diego State. They're 3-0. He'll join us at 4:30. And then at 5 p.m., Andre Hagverdian with more on the upcoming game this weekend. He covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. Also, this hour, your chance to win a pair of tickets to that game. Saturday night, Snapdragon Stadium, 7:30. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. Later this hour, we're giving away a pair of free tickets to see the Aztecs, the Golden Bears, under the lights at Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday night. Again, at 4:30, we'll be joined by the play-by-play voice of the Golden Bears, Justin Allegri. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760 presents the 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival live this Friday and Saturday from T-Mobile in Vegas. The biggest names across all styles of music all together on one stage on one weekend. Many of these artists like Tate McRae, Tim McGraw, and others have headlined the biggest festivals around the world this year, and we have them all on one stage one weekend. Experience the show live all weekend long. Stream it only on Hulu and listen on iHeartRadio this Friday and Saturday starting at 7:30 p.m. All right, we'll give away Aztec tickets later this hour. We're going to cover this Aztec Cal game a lot over the next hour as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I saw this on my timeline, and I'm sure you can explain this to me better. What's going on with the $15 tickets this weekend?
You tell me. I think there's maybe a flash sale for tickets.
Okay. This is the tweet that I saw, which was this morning at 9:50 a.m.
Okay.
From Christian Chapman, former Aztec.
Yeah, quarterback. I think the winningest quarterback in Aztec history.
He said, "You heard Christian Chapman. Get your tickets for Saturday's game to cheer in the I'm guessing it's supposed to say on. Cheer on the Aztecs and welcome back the 2015 Mountain West Championship team. $15 tickets for the 15 team for a limited time at goaztecs.com/flash sale."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many tickets are available in this flash sale?
I have no idea. I would assume it's just like a marketing promotion. I have no idea.
Okay.
I think this game is going to be pretty well attended. It's marketed on their website. I think if you go to you look at like Ticketmaster, I think there'll be a lot of Cal fans. Cal's 3-0. They have a lot of alumni. I think Saturday night game, first Saturday game of the season.
Yeah.
At home, I think there'll be a lot of people there.
Yeah, I'm actually looking right now. Yeah, it looks like this is going to be pretty well attended.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good crowd. So, and the 2015 Mountain West Championship team will be honored. I think it'll be a well-attended game.
Wow.
I'm more concerned about how the game goes.
Exactly.
I mean, that's really what matters. Honestly, I'd prefer they play well. You know what I mean? Like, first and foremost, they need to play well.
Yeah. Do you want a full stadium and they play like crap, or do you want a stadium half full and they play great?
Exactly. And ideally, you get the best of both.
Right. Ideally,
you play in front of a large crowd and you are able to win the game. So it's important for San Diego State, especially off the game at Washington State. Sean Lewis show will be tomorrow night right here on San Diego Sports 760. And then Saturday night, you can hear the game, 7:30 kickoff, 5:30 pregame. Do you think this is a real story or not? The whole Tom Brady has a conflict of interest. Oh my gosh, he put a headset on Monday Night Football for the Raiders game that they lost to the Chargers. Now Ben Johnson, he's calling this Bears game this weekend, and Ben Johnson is now being quoted saying, "I'm not worried about Tom Brady divulging information from our conversations, even though he's got a conflict of interest as a owner." Like, is Tom Brady really like, I don't know, have state secrets here, and he's going to share this information with other teams around the league, specifically the Raiders? Or are we reading too much into like Tom Brady's role as an analyst?
Let me ask you what you think is more egregious, or at least if you were a fan of that team, you'd be like, I don't know, the Tom Brady thing in the coach's booth, just wearing a headset. Listening to plays being called, or new Colts owner Charlie Ursay Gordon on the sidelines during a game, charting down whatever she's charting down and having a headset on for her.
Honestly, to me, I think there's this like level of like, everyone's scared. Everyone thinks that everyone's trying to gain an edge. I don't think either of those worry me at all.
I would be a little more worried about the person that doesn't know anything than the person who is the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, for me, it's a weird look with Tom.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weird look.
Optics, yes.
But it's already been stated that he's not allowed to go to practice. He's not allowed to be in the game plan meetings. He's not allowed to really know anything about what their game plans are for that game because of conflict of interest, because he works with Fox.
Yep.
And he's a broadcaster. So just putting a headset on and like listening to what they're calling, I don't think it's a problem at all. It's just Tom's such a high profile figure.
Yeah.
That when you're a part owner of the team and you're in the coach's box and you're listening to plays and you're on the TV and they catch you, right? it's just an optics thing.
I agree.
That makes it look weird. Like, you don't think that Jerry Jones listens into play calls over like a headset? You don't think that other owners in the NFL have listened to play calls over a headset?
Well, I think the difference is they don't have the conflicts.
Right. That's my point. Is like they do it, but they're I don't see them like in the coach's box doing it. Like Tom can listen.
He can listen. There was no violation.
There's no violation. He can listen, but I just feel like the optics of it, when Tom is in the coach's box listening, you're like, uh-oh, he's going to scold us if we don't do well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird look.
You're the minority owner of the Raiders. Like, who are we to say that Tom Brady has all this? Okay, he was a great player on field. Because he was a great player on field, that means he can't listen into it. Like, what is Tom Brady possibly going to do for the Raiders by listening into a play? Like, is he really going to change the fortunes of a game?
Oh, he just wants to understand and know what they're doing.
Which is fine. That's basic. He's getting now paid hundreds of millions by Fox.
Oh, more than that,
job.
like $300 million.
Right. So $300 million by Fox. Like, he's such a public figure. Why on earth would such a public figure making so much money take that situation and be like, oh my gosh, now I've got all the secrets and now the Raiders are going to win every Super Bowl? It's not as simple as that. Nowhere near as simple as that.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, serious question.
Okay.
Who would be a better quarterback right now for the Raiders?
Yeah, you're right.
Geno Smith or Tom Brady?
It's not even close. It's just
Geno looked awful on Monday night. Like worst quarterback, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
And made the Charger. I mean, Charger defense has been good. We said on Monday they have to win a game like that.
He was 0 for 11 on passes 10 yards or more down the field with like 2 interceptions, I think.
Brady's a better option than 16 of these quarterbacks, probably.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that would be a concern. Maybe that's a conflict of interest if he's playing in the NFL and he's calling NFL games and if he's a minority owner. Okay, there's a lot going on there. But I think Brady on headset, to your point, is more of an optics issue than it is an actual issue.
I want Brady to call a game while playing quarterback for a team.
You might get that. You might get that at some point.
That would be amazing.
By the way, did you see the number for the Eagles-Chiefs rating?
No, what is it?
The most watched regular season game ever on Fox.
Ever?
Ever.
It's an awful game.
And that's what I said. 33.8 million. No Fox Sunday game has ever, now Fox Sunday, so Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
No Fox Sunday game has ever had 33.8 million viewers.
It just shows you that this country just wants more football. Football. And on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday night, guess what? Give me all the football.
Perfect storm, Super Bowl rematch, Taylor Swift. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tush push, everything playing out in real time.
Did you find it weird? You heard the story about Taylor, right?
What story would that be?
That she usually, when she goes to the box, she walks past like I don't know, people or people that can see her walking to the booth, right? It's closed off, but you can still see her walking.
Okay.
They set up I think it was, I don't know if it was bulletproof or not, but they set up like a screen to like block off people seeing Taylor go to the suite.
Why?
I don't know. That's my question. And no one knows the answer to this. And when she was in the suite, I don't know if you noticed, they didn't show her one time on the broadcast. You're welcome, Brent. And fans weren't allowed to take pictures, or at least they had like this tinted glass on the suite, so you couldn't see inside.
What's the theory?
The one theory is
the
one thing is that it's the Chiefs and the Eagles, and she,
she's like an Eagles fan.
She grew up an Eagles fan, even though she doesn't really, and if Travis was there, and others are saying just like heightened security with what's happened in our country lately.
Or was she just wearing an Eagles jersey and they didn't want to see that on
She
TV?
wasn't wearing an Eagles jersey, but do you find that weird?
I mean, she's such a high profile individual that there's really nothing that could be weird.
But that's never happened before with her there.
Her profile's only gotten, I mean, the whole situation is such a circus that I understand taking like additional measures because it is such a circus.
Yeah, I do think that there was a security reason just because of what's happening. Maybe
security reason, though. I almost wonder, would you go if there was a security
good point.
reason.
I don't
Would
know.
you even go?
It was weird. It was weird because everyone was waiting for Taylor and they never showed her, and she wasn't seen at all at the game. She was like basically hidden.
Yeah, that is odd. Well, 33.8 million people were watching, and they didn't see Taylor Swift, but they did see the Chiefs lose to the Eagles and the tush push. All right, Justin Allegri, Cal Radio voice on the other side. We're giving away Aztec tickets at 4:45, and then Andre Hagverdian joins us live from the East Village Times to get us ready for San Diego State and Cal on Saturday night right here on John and Jim. Hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We've been telling you about it. Now open is the Hotel and Spa at Jamul Casino Resort, the next level of luxury. It's arrived. You can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
And right now, get to Jamul 23 with endless dining options daily, a VIP experience. You can also have indulgent chef-curated specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views now at the brand new Jamul 23.
So again, Jamul 23, we've told you the hotel and spa now open as well. You got to check out Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. You're going to absolutely love it. Watch the Padres. You can watch the NFL. Great food and drink at Tony Gwynn's. Make sure to get to the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Update from New York. Padres and Mets tied up at 1 apiece, top of the second inning there. Padres trail the Dodgers by 2 games in the National League West. The Padres have just retaken the lead on a Jake Cronenworth RBI single. So the Padres lead the Mets 2-1 now, top of the second inning. And tonight at 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live, 1 full hour of SDFC talk with Darren and Adrian right here on San Diego Sports 760. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions do apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, we're giving away Aztec tickets in 15 minutes. If you missed our conversation with Cal's radio voice, Justin Allegri, who joins us yesterday, this starts with me trying to pronounce Cal's 5-star freshman phenom's quarterback's name. Should Jim give it a try? Is that what you're saying? I think he may have. Have you tried this?
Kind of.
Want to try it?
Jaron Kowe Sagapaulatuli.
No. I'm going to say now, well, let's hear the conversation. Jaron Keave Sangapolutelli?
You got so Sangapolutelli is right. Keave.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's okay going with just Jaron because Jaron Keave is his first name. It's a hyphenated first name. So Jaron is fine with him, but even we go with just JKS. We use Sagapolitelli a lot during the first game of the year just because our fan base was getting used to him. But he's totally fine with JKS, and if opposing teams want to use that, the television broadcasters have used JKS, so it's totally fine to use that.
All right, JKS it is. By and large, come Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Beyond the name, how impressive has this been for this phenom, right? 780 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, the high quarterback rating. He looks like wise beyond the years. I know it's cliche, but like, how impressive has this been to watch for a guy that is making his collegiate debut this year?
Yeah, to me, that's the most important thing about this. We have to remember that he's a true freshman, not a redshirt freshman, a true freshman. So, I expected some growing pains early on, and the game at Oregon State, I think there were a couple of things that he could have worked on, and then game number 2, you're facing an FCS team. So really, we weren't certain about kind of his performance and what he was trending like until last week. To me, when you face a Big Ten defensive line that's got a lot of size and a lot of athleticism, how do you handle it? And to me, the most impressive thing about it is that he just kind of goes about his business like it's just another game. And you don't expect that from an 18-year-old. But the most impressive attributes that I think that have been on display the first few games is just the accuracy and the decision-making. And it is wise beyond his years. It's not a guy that you're looking at going, well, man, this is his first few games as a collegiate player. It looks like a guy that's been in college for several seasons now, and that's what's been the most impressive thing. Now, what happens when he sees a little adversity? Does that waver a bit? I don't know, because for the most part, he's been able to have some leads here and there, and hasn't really had to come from behind by a big margin just yet. So, and he's only thrown 1 interception. So we'll see what that test yields when we see it. But for the most part, early on, man, he has been impressive.
Really has been when you look at the overall numbers. And again, the fact that Cal is 3-0 on the year with a win over Oregon State, a win over Minnesota as well this past Saturday. Justin Allegri calls games for Cal. Is with us right now on John and Jim. How have they kind of orchestrated this offense around him, so to speak? Nick Rolovich is on staff, right, as an analyst. Brian Harsin as an offensive coordinator. Like, how are they putting him, and he's got weapons around him as well, but how are they putting him in a position to be so successful?
Yeah, I think those 2 coaches you mentioned are where you need to start, because this entire offense is new. There's only a couple of returners, only 1 returning touchdown from all of last year, and that's Tron Grizel, who's a former walk-on wide receiver. So it was difficult to look at this team and get a good sense of them during fall camp because of all the new faces on offense. But the ones that you mentioned, and Mountain West fans and San Diego State fans will know, Brian Harsin brings a lot to the table as an offensive play caller. He did it for a number of years at Boise State. Then he was the head coach up there, and he will throw the kitchen sink at you, and he will use every weapon that he has to his advantage. And then you have Nick Rolovich, who really is completely opposite of the mentality that Harsin brings to the table, but he knows how to coach quarterbacks, and certainly he knows how to recruit Hawaii. So I think he's been in the ear of Jaron a lot in the first few weeks to make sure that he's focusing on the right things and trying to improve in certain elements of his game. So those 2 have really changed a lot of the dynamic of what the offense just looks like in general. And then when you talk about the weapons, you start with Jaron, but then you go to the wide receiving group, which brought in a bunch of transfers, and they were hoping for certain guys to step up. But to me, Jacob DeJesus, who was at UNLV for several years, he is not only a weapon in the pass game, but in the punt return and kick return game. to help you get that field position. The tight ends have been utilized to a great advantage so far this year, and the group of running backs, while no one's really taken the reins and said, this is my job now, the way Harsin calls the plays, you can use 3 different running backs to give a variety of looks. So it's complicated because you get so many different looks and you have a lot of different personnel moving in and out, but that's by design. And fortunately, you have a freshman quarterback that's able to take that all in and operate.
So all this talk about the offense and the freshman quarterback, and then defensively, Cal has been like as good as any defense in the ACC. And I know they haven't played conference games yet, but you just look at the numbers, and whether it's yardage against or just points per game allowed, they're allowing what, like 10 or 10.5 points per game at this point. What has stood out most on that side of the ball so far?
Certainly, to me, the linebackers, especially the edge guys too. But the 2 inside linebackers, Luke Farrelly, who's just a redshirt freshman himself, and then Kedu Luave, who's going to be a first-team all-defensive ACC type of player. Those 2 guys anchor this defense, and they make a lot of plays. They're very heads-up type of players, and they allow for those edge rushers. TJ Bush, who came in from Liberty, and Ryan McCullough, who was with Cal last year, to do a lot of damage. And when you have those 4 kind of giving different looks to an offensive line, different looks to a quarterback, and then have the presence of mind and the discipline to make the tackles when they need to, make an open field type of play, seal off an edge. It's really, really fun to watch those 4, and it allows the defensive backfield to really do what they excel at. And that's what Coach Wilcox excels at. He's a former defensive back coach. So he really coached those guys up. And obviously there were 3 draft picks from the defensive backfield last year for the Bears. And they brought in several transfers from this year's class to help support that. And they've picked up right where last year's team left off. So there's a lot of weapons on this team and a lot of ways they can beat you and a lot of looks they can give you. But to me, it all starts with those linebackers doing what they need to allow everybody else to kind of play in rhythm and in sync.
Cal radio voice Justin Allegri with us right now. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Of course, you can hear the Aztecs and the Golden Bears coming up Saturday night at 7:30 right here on 760. So tell me if I have this right. I think I have it right. No Clemson, Miami, or Florida State. I know it's unbalanced, but you look at the start to the year. I mean, the aspirations for Cal have to be super high. Not that it's solely schedule dependent, but not having Clemson, Miami, or Florida State presents quite an opportunity, right?
Yeah, and I'll even throw another team in there. Georgia Tech is not on the schedule, who just upset Clemson. So really, you're looking at those 4 teams and saying, well, gosh, they're probably going to be in the conversation of ACC championship game, depending on where their season goes. And you're right, it's tough because you don't want to look so far down the road. You don't want to look at schedules and opponents and say, well, this one is a win, this one is a win. Yep. You can't do that right now. You have to go in week by week, especially with such a new group of guys and a freshman quarterback. But those big names are not on the schedule this year. So the path is available to the Bears to make a good run at this season. And gosh, Virginia Tech just fired their head coach. And we were thinking, gosh, that's going to be a difficult place to play regardless of what they look like, because we're going to Virginia Tech on a Friday evening. But that looks a lot different. You know, Louisville, who we thought was going to be ranked, I don't know what they're going to look like. But again, that's all weeks and months away. You have to focus on the here and now. And right now, the Bears haven't even played an ACC game yet. So, but you're right. The schedule does play out. And I think there's a lot of hype around that, around the future outlook of this year's team. But I asked Coach Wilcox about that today, and he said, no, the mindset of this team is not even thinking about conference play yet. They got to think about going 4-0 and being undefeated in non-conference play. And to do that, they have to beat San Diego State this week. And that's where the focus is.
All right, let's talk about the Aztecs, who in year 1 under Sean Lewis go 3-9. You saw them obviously last year. Close game for a half. Cal ultimately pulls away. Danny O'Neal didn't play in that game. Last year's Aztec starter. This year, obviously, there's a new quarterback for San Diego State and Jaden Denegal. They're 1-1. They had the FCS win. They lost up at Washington State. And then they're coming off the bye. What do you make of where San Diego State is year 2 under Sean Lewis, having this opportunity at home against Cal?
Well, what the coaching staff at Cal is looking at this week, they know that the quarterback is pretty big, pretty athletic. You know, this is a guy that backed up J.J. McCarthy. So there's a reason he was at Michigan. And now he's getting the opportunity. So they're fully aware that he's mobile, he's capable, he's got good athleticism. I think the sample size for San Diego State is kind of small, right? There's just 2 games. They're coming off of a bye, which means they're going to be geared up. They're going to be running a lot of plays. They're going to be looking at a lot of film of Cal. And to me, the thing about this game that I know coming in for San Diego State is their defensive effort. They've got Trey White is the player of the year candidate for the defensive side. I think he's going to be really, really good. All those years of those Rocky Long defenses where it was a 3-3-5 and now it's the 4-2-5. It's something that you have to look at and say there can be a lot of pressure from this defensive front from San Diego State, regardless of what their offense may look like right now. So it's going to have to take a disciplined game. It's going to take a game where you win some of the special teams elements to get good field position, because the Aztecs know that they're going to go for it a lot on 4th down. And you can't give up those opportunities. You have to shut them down on 3rd down, get them in a spot where they're not thinking about going for it on 4th down near midfield, because that can be a momentum shift. There's a lot to look at in this game, and there's still, to me, a lot unknown about this Aztec team that maybe we'll get some clarity on in the first half of this game. But two games is too small of a sample size to really make an opinion on this Aztec team yet.
Have you been to Snapdragon?
Yeah, my last year at San Jose State was the one and only time we went to Snapdragon.
All right, well, good stadium. I think it'll be a good crowd Saturday night. I think you have a lot of Cal fans there. They're honoring the 2015 Mountain West Championship San Diego State team. Rocky Long will be in the building. Donnell Pumphrey will be in the building, and should be a good atmosphere for Cal and San Diego State Saturday night under the lights. And Justin, appreciate you taking time. Safe travels. We'll see you down here this weekend. All right.
Thanks a bunch. I have nightmares about Donnell Pumphrey and the games he used to play against San Jose State when I was there. So hopefully I don't get a shudder when I go see him this weekend.
Or that Penny game in 2017. That was my first year here. And I want to say Penny in the first half ran for like 300 yards. He didn't even play in the second half, or 200 something yards.
Yeah, that was not a good one for old San Jose State, was it?
It really wasn't. Justin, thank you, man. And we'll see you this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, on the other side, we're giving away Aztec tickets for Saturday night, San Diego State and Cal. So be listening for that. Plus, coming up at 5 p.m., we'll have you covered from the San Diego State perspective. Andre Hagverdian, he covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. He'll join us at 5 p.m. We're here until 6. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. We're going to give away Aztec tickets, Jim, in, let's say, 6.5 minutes.
Okay.
Roughly. Could be 7, could be 6, could be 8, but you get the point.
What about
and
5?
Then it's not going to be 5 minutes.
No.
It's not going to be in 5
6,
minutes.
7, or 8.
It's going to be in 6 or 7 minutes. Andre Hegverdian works for the East Village Times, does a good job covering the Aztecs. He'll join us coming up at 5 p.m. What's the Thursday night NFL game? Putting everyone on the spot. Don't look. We're all looking at each other. It's not Packers Commanders.
No.
So I'm guessing it's not on that caliber for week 3.
It's a very good question.
Isn't that a good question?
Very good question.
What is week 3?
I can't remember if the Giants are involved or if they're on Monday night.
It's not the Chiefs, is it?
Or maybe that's Sunday night. I think the Giants are in one of the primetime
Is
games.
it Giants Chiefs?
No, Chiefs play the Giants on Sunday.
Okay. Let's both guess 2 teams and see if we have one of them right.
Bengals, Jags. I don't know.
Okay, you say Bengals, Jags. I'll say here are just the 2 teams I'm guessing.
Let me look right now.
Dolphins, Saints.
Oh, I think it's Dolphins, Bills.
Dolphins, Bills.
I got one of the teams.
You got one right.
I just guessed 2 teams.
Wasn't even close.
Dolphins, Bills.
Bengals play the Vikings.
So Dolphins, Bills. That's a fair game, so to speak. It involves Josh Allen.
Yeah, the game will be over by the 3rd quarter.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it involves Josh Allen. It'll be over by the 3rd quarter. Where's the game? In Buffalo or Miami?
It's in Buffalo.
Okay.
It's a problem for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dolphins are potentially not a good football team.
Who's the coach?
Mike McDaniel.
Are his days numbered?
They should be. If he does not have a good season, the whole Tua thing, he had one of the worst interceptions last week. It was so awful. That team has just gone down since he's got there. First year Mike McDaniel was there, was great.
Right.
But then they had to go to Kansas City and Arrowhead and play in the cold weather.
That
And
game was so bad.
Not good.
The Peacock playoff game or something, that was the worst game ever.
Yeah. It was like negative 13 degrees.
Yeah, and just the most boring game. Miami did nothing.
Like ice.
Okay, so that's the Thursday game. And you say Mike McDaniels has to win this year or he's out. He's out.
He's on the hot seat.
Yeah, he should be.
He's on the hot seat.
Okay.
So we'll see there.
Last Sunday again had Eagles Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Last Thursday had Packers Commanders.
Do you know what
this weekend?
You know what the Sunday night game is, John?
No, I have no idea.
Take another guess.
Just 2 teams you want me to guess?
Yeah.
It is. Hold on. Didn't they just have Falcons, Vikings? Why did they choose that?
Because of McCarthy and Penix.
Well, they could have had Eagles Chiefs, but to your point, maybe Fox spent money on it.
They did.
Guess 2 teams. Okay, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I have.
Gotta come up.
Lions.
Okay.
I have Lions, Seahawks.
This is a fun game.
It's Chiefs Giants, isn't it?
It's Chiefs Giants.
Yeah. Give me a break. Don't put the Giants on Sunday.
Lions are on Monday Night Football, though, against
Seahawks.
Not the Seahawks.
Oh.
It's another team with the bird.
Eagles.
Not that team. Another bird.
Pelicans.
Nope, they're a basketball team.
I'm just thinking
Zion's going to go nuts.
Swans.
Nope, that's not even a real team.
Falcons.
Nope, that's not it either.
That's a bird.
That's a bird, but there's a bird you're missing.
Jaguars.
Nope, that's not a bird. You're missing the easiest bird ever.
Wait, who's the team? Lions against a bird?
Yeah, Lions against a bird. You're missing one.
Cardiac Cats.
No.
They're a baseball team too.
Cardinals.
No.
Cardinals are a baseball team and a bird.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
The Cardinals.
Jets.
No.
Jets are a bird.
Ravens, you moron.
I don't know, dude. That's a hard game.
I said bird. There's like 5 birds in the NFL, and you guess every single one of them except for the Ravens.
12 of them. Ravens, Lions,
the Bears.
Game.
The Swans aren't a team, though.
True. Or the Pelicans.
Ravens. Lions, Ravens in Baltimore.
Now I'm picturing the Mike Leach press conference, like, who wins a fight between mythical mascots?
A swan and a bird.
Yeah, who wins between a raven and a lion? Well, the raven can swoop down. What'd you say the Sunday night game was?
Chiefs Giants.
No, see, that to me is like you're trying to be too cute.
2-0
Sunday
and 2
night
teams.
football. Oh, well, we have New York City and we have the Chiefs. No, nobody needs to see the Chiefs and the Giants right now.
My guess, no one will like this guess. My guess is Chiefs Giants Sunday night football. The Taylor Swift factor.
Yeah.
Lives in New York, has a place in New York. Obviously, they live in Missouri now, or wherever they live. I don't even know.
Wait, what about Missouri?
Taylor and Travis. They live somewhere. I don't know.
Do you know where Kansas City is?
Yeah, it's in Missouri.
Correct. There's also a Kansas City, Kansas.
Right, there is. But I'm just saying somewhere in Missouri. I don't know where.
Okay.
My guess is they were trying to get that game. They get the Taylor Swift bump and
100%.
Chiefs bump. And
you'll have a nice rating.
Yeah, of course
it's the Chiefs. It's
the
and by the way,
it's the NFL. It's
there's
in New York.
No world. There's no way the Chiefs can lose. There's no way they're losing to the Giants.
They're
no way they're
6.5 point favorite.
That's not a point. They can't score.
I know. They're
going to
team
win 6.5-0.
At least the Giants could put up 40. They got some nice offensive weapons.
Good point. Last week they scored 37 points.
Russell Wilson leads the league in passing yards.
Good point. Chiefs are going to have to score on Sunday night. All right. Andre Hackverdian, East Village Times will get us ready for Aztecs and Golden Bears on Saturday night. Call right now if you want free tickets to see San Diego State Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium against the Cal Bears, who are 3-0. If you want those free tickets, a pair of free tickets, call right now, 877-767-4760. Free tickets to see the Aztecs Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. All you need to do is call 877-767-4760. The third caller is going to that game with 2 free tickets. Call right now, 877-767-4760. Andre Hackverdian from the East Village Times will join us next on John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Wendy's. Update in New York. Padres have a 2-1 lead over the Mets in the bottom of the third inning. Padres still trail the Dodgers by 2 games in the National League West. Dodgers take on the Phillies later tonight in L.A. And tonight at 6 p.m., 1 full hour of SDFC Talk, SDFC Midweek Live with Darren and Adrian. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Get 2 #1 selling bacon cheeseburgers in fast food. Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger plus medium fries and a soft drink for just $8. Total game changer. Order today. Limited time and only. Price and participation may vary. Request $8 Junior Bacon Cheeseburger meal deals to obtain a discount. Claim per independent marketing research company.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of John and Jim. We'll keep you updated on what Jim just told you about Padres and Mets. And, of course, we're looking ahead to this weekend as well. You can hear the game on 760. Aztecs and Cal Bears. Cal coming in 3-0. San Diego State off a bye week, 1-1 overall. And it's great to catch up with Andre Hagverdian. He covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. He's with us right now on John and Jim. So, Andre, first of all, I appreciate it. And secondly, again, we haven't seen the Aztecs since, a week and a half ago. But what are your early season impressions? It's only been 2 games, Washington State and Stony Brook. What are your impressions to this point with San Diego State? And thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I think that it's been a lot of ups and downs so far. Obviously, the Stony Brook shutout win had a lot of ups, both offensively, defensively. And then the Washington State loss kind of felt like a few steps back. I think the main issue with that loss was how it reminded you of some of the losses from last season. You obviously want to see progress and improvement. And while Stony Brook kind of showed that, Washington State did not. And then the Cougars go and get blown out by North Texas this past weekend. And that kind of makes that loss look worse. So I think this game coming off a bye, you're at home. You're playing a good opponent. Hopefully you have a good crowd. And it's not necessarily maybe having to get a win, although that's what you aim for, but to compete and put out a good product in all 3 phases. So you go into the fourth quarter having a win. And I think that's going to take all 3 phases.
What have you made of Jaden Denigal through his first 2 games here in an Aztec uniform?
I think the first 2 drives of the season was about as perfect as you can have a quarterback play, 2 touchdowns, 2 drives. And then there's been some lulls, some decision making. He hasn't thrown an interception, but he's had a few that the defense should have caught and picked off. So I think the decision making, everybody remembers that 4th down play where he could have ran for the first down, but tried to throw downfield to an open receiver and missed them. So some of that accuracy needs to get better. He hasn't really used his legs a lot as well, which is something that we thought this year with Denigal and Bert Emanuel that the quarterbacks would be able to do more than Danny O'Neill was last year. So I'm interested to see how coming off a bye he can look against Cal.
Andre Hagverdian with us right now, covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. Switching to San Diego State's defense, again, the shutout against Stony Brook. Game kind of turned at Washington State with that safety, obviously, heading into the half. But, Trey White through these first 2 games, what are you seeing when you watch the way Trey White is being handled? Obviously, he's drawing doubles. He's drawing more attention. What does that mean for the rest of the defensive line for San Diego State, and how can they capitalize on it?
Yeah, he's definitely getting extra attention, whether it's a tight end or a back chipping him, or sometimes just a straight double team. And it opens up, one-on-one matchups for other guys. The first game we saw August Salvati kind of take advantage of that with the 1.5 sacks. But against Washington State, nobody was really getting anywhere close to Jackson Potter. And so those guys are going to need to do more, both in the run game and in the pass game. And, they're going up against a really good quarterback who hasn't seen a lot of adversity yet through 3 games of his collegiate career. And so I think this is an opportunity for those guys, whether it's Brady Nasser, Ryan Henderson, Salvati. Those guys need to pick up the slack, especially if Trey's getting those double teams.
What have you made of the play calling so far through Sean Lewis for the first 2 games of the year? Last year, you could criticize some of the play calling decisions that he made and how the offense didn't look and live up to the Aztec Fast moniker. But this year, through 2 games, have you seen anything different from Sean Lewis and his play calling? What do you make of that?
I think there's definitely been more of an emphasis in the passing game. And they had success, obviously, early in the Stony Brook game in the first half. But definitely the Washington State game, they did not stick to the running game enough. Lucky Sutton got off to a really good start. I think he was averaging about 6 yards per carry, finished only with 15 carries. Now, the game did get out of hand late in the game, but I haven't necessarily seen a ton different. They run the RPO. So a lot of the plays at the end of the day are going to look the same, and the quarterback is going to be the one that's kind of making the decision based on what he sees in the defense. And so far, I think they've had more passes than runs. But we'll see how that. It's only been 2 games, as you said, so we'll see how that evolves as the season gets going.
Andre Hagverdian with us right now. Again, covers San Diego State for the East Village Times. So, for the purpose of this conversation, we can call Cal's quarterback JKS. I'll try to say his name right now because I'm calling this game.
Good luck.
Jaron Kiave Songapolutele. Maybe.
Sure.
Might be Songapolutele. I'm not exactly sure. And I've heard it like 1,000 times. But forget about his name for a second. Just his play. I mean, he's a true freshman. He's 3 games in. The numbers are gaudy. Turn on these games. I'm watching this past weekend against Minnesota. He's making some really impressive throws. He did the same thing in week 1 on the road at Oregon State. What have you seen from him, and what type of challenges does he present?
First, I did watch a video of some people pronouncing it or showing how to pronounce it. So I'm going to say Jaron Kiave Songapolutele.
Okay,
Wow,
that's good. That sounded very good. If you want to call the game,
no, I think I'll do just fine in the press box. He's impressive. Obviously, he's a true freshman. He's accurate, makes really good decisions, throws a great ball. He spreads the ball around. I think Cal had 9 different players catch a pass last week against Minnesota. He doesn't run the ball a ton. Whether that's just been by design and that'll get changed as the season goes on, we'll see. But he's just difficult to shut down, and he's a left-handed guy and just throws a nice ball. And I think San Diego State's going to have its hands full to try to shut him down.
So how do you see this game playing out on Saturday? What do the Aztecs need to do to make sure they keep themselves in this game and give them a chance to pull off an upset here?
It's interesting. The Aztecs have played 2 games this season without forcing or committing a turnover. And they're actually going back to last year, 3 straight games in that manner. And I think, according to SDSU media staff, which do a great job, that's the longest streak in FBS. It matches the longest streak since 1996. So I think obviously they need to continue to not turn the ball over, not give Cal short fields. And on the flip side, I think they're going to have to force some turnovers because it's going to be hard to keep JKS and that offense going down the field and picking up yards. But, getting turnovers, stopping drives that may be, in the red zone or things like that, I think will be key. And then they got to run the ball really well. I mean, the stat is they're 58-2 in their last 60 games when they rush over 200 yards. But they've only done it twice against FBS teams since 2022. They've played 4 FCS teams and they've rushed over 200 yards against them, but against FBS teams they've only done it twice. And I think they're going to need to get over 200 yards if they want to win this game.
That's really interesting. That's good insight. Again, they did it against Stony Brook this year, but to your point, Stony Brook not an FBS member, a program out of the FCS that was a very good team a year ago. All right, Andre, we're looking forward to it. We appreciate you hopping on for us. Again, we'll see you out there Saturday night. Again, for the coverage, you can check it out in the East Village Times. But thanks for taking some time for us. We'll see you this weekend, all right?
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Great stuff. Andre Hagverdian, again, covers San Diego State for the East Village Times. Not an easy game. I mean, they're 12 or 12.5 point underdogs. Actually opened at like 13 or 14, so that number's gone down. But obviously not an easy game.
No, it's not.
I mean, the Cal has blown out opponents. Oregon State on the road, they blew them out. They ended up winning by double digits against Minnesota, Big Ten program at home.
And that's kind of what makes the Washington State game so disappointing, because that was a game that I feel like you could have competed and won. And if you didn't make those mistakes at the end of the first half, I think it would have been a different game. And if things go the way of Cal this weekend and they keep playing how they've been playing and they, say they do blow out San Diego State, then it's going to look back at that Washington State game and go, I missed an opportunity there, because the Cal game, was the game that you're worried about. The Washington State game was the game like, okay, let's go out and prove that we've improved here. And they weren't able to do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Can they find their way to 2-2 or better through 4 games? Like last year, they went out to Central Michigan. I think they started 1-3 because they went to Central Michigan. They lost because they missed field goals. Remember that game?
Yeah, lost by a point, right?
Right. They lost on a field goal at the buzzer after missing 2 field goals inside 30 yards.
Right.
In the fourth quarter. So that was a complete heartbreaker, backbreaker, whatever. And this year, you're playing at Northern Illinois, a team that beat Notre Dame last year, a very quality program out of the MAC. So you wouldn't assume that is going to be an easy game for the Aztecs coming up. So we'll see. But again, this Saturday, great opportunity is what it is. Great opportunity for San Diego State. So what's interesting is we're watching, as we're talking about this, we're watching the Padres and the Mets play out right now at Citi Field, a game that's going back and forth, and right now is tied at 2-2. You're watching, you know what they say in boxing, styles make fights?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in baseball. When the Padres score, they've sacrificed in some manner, had a sac fly in this game. They'll bloop a single or two. That's how they've scored their runs.
Yeah.
Bloop singles and sacrifice flies and moving runners on ground balls. The Mets, 2 runs on home runs. I mean, long home runs. Pete Alonso, Starling Marte, long home runs. Just one swing, home run. They've hit 6 home runs down the series. The Mets have. Padres have hit 3. But it's like the style. You watch this game, you're like, these are different teams because of the way that they're able to score.
Yeah, the way the Padres have to match up with teams is you can't allow their opponents to hit a bunch of home runs. If that happens, you're donezo. It's over. You have to neutralize other teams' strengths, and you have to have better pitching, and you have to reduce the amount of home runs they hit, and that's going to be a tough and a tall task. Like, because if you go into a series and you look at the end of the series and Padres gave up 7 home runs and you hit 4 home runs, I mean, you're not going to feel great about that. Like, oh, congratulations, you hit 4 home runs, but you allowed 7.
Yeah, the odds are you're going to lose that series. I mean, typically the team that hits more home runs wins games. I mean, that's typical.
You have to have it so like you hit 4 home runs and they hit like 2.
Right, or you're like even,
or you hit 2 home runs and they hit none, or you know what I mean? Like you have to pitch lights out and you have to stop the other team from hitting so many home runs, and that's up to the pitching staff. And if that's the case, it's like I don't know, man. That's just you're playing with fire here, and you're going up against somebody that you don't have that in your pocket.
Yeah, in your like your
toolbox. Yeah, you don't have that in the bat belt. Like you don't have a 3-run homer to pull out. You have no idea what that means, but it's okay.
I don't know about the bat belt, but I do know that it's almost uncanny that the home runs have occurred at this clip against starting pitching.
Yes.
Whether it's Nick Pivetta or Michael King, right? Whether it's Yu Darvish or Dylan Cease, like you can't stop it from happening for whatever reason. I mean, the Mets came into the series averaging 2.7 runs per game. 2.7 runs per game in their last 9 games. They were not playing well. Their offense had been completely slugless over the last 9 or 10 days, and now it's come to life against yesterday Michael King and today Nick Pivetta. So this critical game in Queens, currently tied at 2 in the 4th inning between the Padres and the Mets. We'll keep you updated on that. In addition, storylines heading into week 3 of the NFL coming up on the other side. Jim's back pages ahead. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
Says a lot about who he is. And yes, you have good teams around you.
Weekday mornings at 6.
But it's kind of doing the right thing at the right time when your team needs it the most. And I don't think that that's a coincidence that he's that successful. 64-3. You win a national championship. You won a couple of state championships in high school.
San Diego Sports. 760. America's finest sports station.
All right, San Diego Sports 760 presents our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival live this Friday and Saturday from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The biggest names across all styles of music all together on one stage on one weekend. Many of these artists like Mariah Carey, Tate McRae, Tim McGraw, and others have headlined the biggest festivals around the world this year, and we have them all on one stage in one weekend. Experience the show live all weekend long. Stream it only on Hulu and listen on the iHeartRadio app or listen on iHeartRadio this Friday and Saturday starting at 7:30, sponsored locally by STK Steakhouse. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. All right, what do you have for me? Because I have something for you.
No, what do you got for me?
Okay, of the 10 winless NFL teams, are 10 0-2 teams.
Yeah.
How many of them, and I can tell you the 10 teams if you want to know.
I got it.
How many of them are going to make the playoffs?
Ooh, I like that question.
The 10 are, I'll just read them: Chiefs, Texans, Bears, Giants, Saints, Titans, Jets, Panthers, Browns, Dolphins.
I got 2.
2 of these will make the playoffs. So you're going to say the Chiefs.
I got 2 that could make the postseason. Yeah. Chiefs and the Texans.
All right, so you're going to say 2 out of the AFC could make the postseason in Kansas City and Houston.
Yes, and then New Orleans, no. Jets, no. Dolphins, no. Panthers, no. Bears, no. Cleveland, no. Tennessee, no. Giants, no.
So we can write off right now 8 of those 10 teams.
You ready to write off the Bears, Brent?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, we can write off 8 of those 10 teams.
I was gonna say the 0-2 thing. I don't think it's gonna mean as much anymore now that they play. Yeah, because they play the extra game. So
0-3 though. That's
see that's what I'm getting at. Is I think there's a little more leeway now to where you can start 0-3 if maybe depending on the team, maybe 0-4 if you're somebody that's like the Chiefs that has a potential to whip off a bunch of wins in a row. Mm-hmm. But I don't think going 0-2 isn't a death nail anymore. Like,
but here's the thing: to me, it's not about can you start 0-2 or 0-3 because there's an extra game. It's about having an extra playoff spot in each conference. When there were only 6 spots in each conference, it was harder to make the postseason starting 0-2. Now that there's 7 spots in each conference, there's a little bit more wiggle room to sneak in at 9-8 potentially.
All right, I'll ask you the flip question.
Which 2-0 team will not make the playoffs?
Yeah,
love that. Read me the teams.
Buffalo, Green Bay, Colts, Niners, Bengals, Eagles, Chargers, Bucks, Rams, and Cardinals.
2 words for you. San Francisco 49ers. I'm kidding.
It's actually 3.
I know, it's like 100 words.
You know where I'm going with this one, right? We'll say it on 3.
I don't think you're going to be right if that's what you're going to say.
Who do you think I'm going to say?
Read them again. You're going to say are the Bengals 2-0?
Bengals are 2-0.
Yeah, I'll say Bengals.
Just because the Joe Burrow thing.
I thought you were going to say Chargers.
No, I think the Chargers actually.
Whenever I see you with like a little grin on your face, it's like they're so Chargers are going to. There's a very good chance that Chargers
they have the greatest head coach in the history of the sport, according to Colin Cowherd.
Belichick.
Yeah, better than Belichick.
Andy Reid.
Better than Andy Reid. Better than Saban. Better than Bill Walsh.
No, this is like a college NFL. This is just the history of the sport.
No, I know. Saban, right? Saban. Yeah. Better than every head coach in the history of the sport is Jim Harbaugh. You know why?
Super Bowl, yeah.
You want a little back? You know why Colin sucks up to the Chargers?
Well, because he has like the inside access.
Well, he's paid. Like he's been given things by the Chargers to
he's paid.
He like has been given things by the Chargers to hey, we'll give you this if you pump us up on your radio show.
Right. Because they actually are finally good, though.
They are. They're a good team.
But is Jim Harbaugh the greatest coach in the history of football? I mean, that's going far. Obviously.
If he wins a Super Bowl, then he'll be. Will he be the only coach in football history
to win a national championship in Super Bowl? I'll say no, but I have no idea.
One of, maybe, right?
No, because Barry Switzer did it.
Barry Switzer, okay.
Barry Switzer,
Barry
Cowboys
Switzer
in Oklahoma.
So Barry Switzer is a better coach than Jim Harbaugh when Barry Switzer won a national title and a Super Bowl.
He kind of inherited Jimmy Johnson's team with the Cowboys.
Right.
But
So won a Super Bowl.
Wait, what's our point here? The 2-0 teams?
My point is Colin never makes sense. And the 2-0 teams that are in danger potentially of missing the
Well,
postseason.
Bengals, because of Burrow, obviously you have to say that. I mean, those other teams, it doesn't sound very dangerous. Like San Francisco, they're making it. Green Bay, they're making it. Philadelphia, they're making it.
I'll give you the teams that I think like watch out. All right.
Watch out for missing.
Missing, yeah. Bengals, Cardinals. I'm throwing the Niners in there just because of the injury factor. Like they just can't stay healthy. And the Colts.
Yeah. Who have scored all these points, but I mean,
believe in Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones is a great point. It's a great point.
But their division also is kind of trash, to be honest with you. Unless the Texans decide that they're going to win, go on a roll here. But I think those are the teams that I think you can say right now, like, don't jump on the bandwagon just yet.
But isn't it funny, 2 weeks in, we can definitively say, and I bet we're going to be able to do this with 100% accuracy, that there are 8 teams that are out. There are 8 0-2 teams that we said are done. We're 2 weeks in. There's 8 teams that are done. And then there were probably 6 2-0 teams that we were basically saying they're in the playoffs.
Bills, Packers, Eagles, Chargers, Bucks, Rams.
Okay, so 6 are in and 8 are out. 14 of the 32 teams, we know their destiny.
Then we can say teams like Baltimore
are going to make it.
They're going to make it.
Yep.
Detroit.
It's so funny when you said that. I'm like, Tigers have had a good year. You're talking about the Lions.
Yeah, the Scooble thing.
Yeah. Okay, Detroit. I mean, I don't know about
Seattle.
The
do you trust Seattle?
Teams.
A nice road win against the Steelers last weekend.
Right.
Kansas City, Houston, teams that could make it back there.
I mean, Kansas City, certainly we'd be foolish to write off for making the playoffs at 0-2. But I do think there's probably 6 or 7 teams that are going to be in, and I think there's already 8 or 9 teams they're going to be out.
Look,
it's been 2 weeks.
I say that Colts and you believe in Daniel Jones. It's crazy. They put up their point differential this year so far is the best in the league.
Right.
They've put up 62 points.
Oh, right.
They're 2-0 now. The comeback victory, or not the comeback victory, but I guess the victory against the Broncos this past weekend was pretty lucky, but still they got the job done. Daniel Jones has been good for them, and they got weapons. And Tyler Warren, the guy they drafted in the first round,
the tight end.
So I'm struggling over here, dude.
All right. Jim's back page is ahead. Updates from Citi Field between the Padres and the Mets as well. Stay with us, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Football season has arrived, and BetOnline continues to be your #1 source for all your football betting action. BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and scores from every pro to college game to baseball, cage fighting, and hockey futures. BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering info. Head to the website and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program, level up bonuses, and weekly cash boost. BetOnline, the game starts here.
You'll hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-616-1997. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-616-1997. That's 800-616-1997. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
San Diego sports now.
All right, this update is brought to you by Wendy's. Manny Machado has just hit a grand slam in New York. Padres lead the Mets 6-2 in the top of the 5th inning. We were talking about that during the break. We called it.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
We called everything.
Of course. Tonight at 6 p.m., we have SDFC Midweek Live. Darren and Adrian, 1 full hour of SDFC talk right here on San Diego Sports 760. Get 2 #1 selling bacon cheeseburgers in fast food. Wendy's JBC plus medium fries and soft drinks for just $8. Total game changer. Order today. Limited to one time only. Price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deals to obtain discount. Claim per independent marketing research company.
What? All right, so the developing situation is Manny Machado's grand slam, which has put the Padres in great position. They're up 6-2 right now in New York. But think about this. Machado's homered in 3 of his last 4 games because he didn't play Sunday. He homered Friday and Saturday. He didn't homer yesterday, had a base hit. And now he's homered today. And it's a massive one, a grand slam in a 2-2 game at Citi Field. So Machado heating up. Merrill has heated up. Encouraging signs. 4 home runs in this series for the Padres, 3 yesterday. And this isn't your Padres can't hit 3-run home runs. The Padres can't hit grand slams. Well, they just did.
They did.
So encouraging, crucial game here. Put some pressure on LA. Get back in this series and set up a rubber match if you can do it. We're a long way home. But what a massive moment for Manny. We've said we need the big moments from Manny with games on the line in critical spots. And that's a big time moment for Manny Machado.
From bunt Diego to slam Diego.
Sack Diego, bunt Diego, walk Diego, slam Diego. Just like that.
Yeah, we're getting better here. We're progressing, right? That swing of the bat by Manny Machado right there.
So classic Manny.
Not only is it classic Manny, it just reaffirms that what he did over the weekend against the Rockies
is real.
Somewhat has carried over into, series that aren't against the Rockies, where he had a hit last night, but 1 for 4, whatever. He was having a lot of offers. So during that stretch when he was having like a million offers, a 1 for 4 might have been great for him. But a 1 for 4 last night, the grand slam tonight, the couple homers over the weekend. I mean, he is going to die trying to get to his numbers in the back of his baseball card. But by doing so, it's really going to help the team because that means he's going to have to get hot down the stretch here.
Nobody's ever, you can't quit on him because it's Manny Machado. Every time you want to, he redeems himself. And it's amazing to watch the career arc of Manny Machado. I mean, we've watched so much of him over the last 7 years. And you're right. He's going to get to 29 home runs. And he's going to get to 99 or 100 RBIs. And he's going to have an over 800 OPS before it's all said and done. And it's going to be a fine season. And the numbers are going to look good. Where does the conversation always go from here?
Can he produce in the postseason?
Okay. I mean, you don't even have to. It's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That moment was awesome. He needed it. But it always goes to, especially this time of year, postseason starts in 13 days. 2 weeks from now, they're up a game or down a game against someone. So the postseason starts in 13 days, and we're going to need to see more of Manny. And it is encouraging that in the final 2 weeks of the year, he's now hit 3 home runs in the last 4 games.
And what did we say last week before the weekend? If you were to pick anybody on the team that you had faith in to turn it around, that's slumping, who would it be? It's Manny Machado.
100%.
So, for anybody out there saying like, oh, you guys just bash Manny and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, we actually picked him as the player that we believed could and would turn it around of everybody on the team that was struggling. Now, Merrill got hot recently, so you can't put him in that category. But whenever somebody struggles on this team of the big names, who do you have the most confidence in of the big names that it's going to turn it around? It's Manny Machado.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because we were on the air. We're doing a show. I think it was hit by pitch, walk, bunt, single. Yes. I think it was hit by pitch, walk, bunt, single, slam. Listen, you'll take it. That's how the Padres do play in terms of generating opportunities. The hit by pitches to someone like Cronenworth. He's always reaching in that manner. Bunt base hits. It has been a product of who they are this year. I mean, Mike Schild, if you missed it earlier, literally spoke for 3.5 minutes about the importance of bunts. I spent 3.5 minutes on sacrifice.
But he also talked about how they love the 3-run homer.
Well, I hope so. I mean, how could you not? I hope every team likes home runs. He said he was pro homer. I'm like, I hope you're pro homer. But it was like the most Padres inning. Before a grand slam, you lay down a bunt base hit.
Now tonight it's go Phillies once again.
Yep.
And this is what they've done. Padres will win a game. Dodgers will win a game. When did they play tonight? 6-something?
I think it's at 7:10.
7:10. All right. So we'll probably be doing a wrap-up show right as that game ends in LA.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
And tonight it's a huge game. You got to win this game. Hopefully the Phillies can beat the Dodgers and gain a game with 10 to play.
Then it's kind of like on again. That's what we've been saying. We've been living in this limbo where you can't definitively say they can't win the division. And you can't definitively say they're definitely the 5 seed.
Right.
It feels that way, but you can't definitively say it.
No, you can't. It's just like a back and forth thing because we're watching these games, watch every single pitch, and it's like, this team isn't doing it. But because the Dodgers also suck, they're in it by default.
Oh, yeah, they're in it by default. I mean, even
can you not play them by if everything goes right, you win tonight, the Dodgers lose.
You just got to outplay them by 2 games.
Can you outplay the Dodgers by 2 games in the final 10?
When they've got Seattle on the road, when they have Giants at home, whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Giants are still firmly in it.
Can you go 7-3 and can they go 5-5?
Right. If you get the break tonight. Where now Kevin brought up earlier, he said, when the Padres are winning, the Dodgers are winning.
Right.
When the Padres are losing, the Dodgers are losing.
I know it's a pattern that has been going back and forth for the last month plus here, it feels like.
I think that's exactly right. And you said it. The day that the Dodgers won at Petco to get even in the division, that was weeks ago, and they've only created now an additional couple of games of separation. Yeah, they've stayed within 2 games for forever.
It's hard to make up just even a couple games in like a week and a half stretch. It's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could take a month.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now you're asking to do that in 10 games if this score holds and if the Dodgers lose tonight to the Phillies. If the Dodgers beat the Phillies tonight, 2 up, really 3 up with 10 to play,
then they've actually improved their chances of winning the division if that happens.
Exactly.
They being the LA.
Yeah. So look, tonight, go Phillies, man.
Yeah, get your gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Fanatics. See if they'll deliver it within the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, listen, are the Dodgers swept a lot at home? I guess is no. But the way the Phillies are playing, I think it's absolutely a possibility. And then, by the way, I feel like the pressure shifts if that plays out that way. If you're within 1 with 10 to play, I feel like there's more pressure on LA than San Diego.
I
really do, because they're like holding on for dear life, and they know they're not playing well.
No, they of course.
I mean, they've been playing like
they've been playing like ass.
Seriously, dude, they're under 500 the last half of the year.
Does anybody think the Dodgers are going to win a World Series this year?
Well, it's possible.
It's possible.
You know what I mean?
But they have a very big part of their team that is just downright awful. I don't care about postseason. Their bullpen.
You've said it. You're going to be right with that.
Is going to be the reason why they do not win a World Series this year. Like I feel very strongly about that. That the Dodgers won't win a World Series this year because they're awful bullpen.
Right. They'll be sitting on a lead. It'll be a 3-1 game, and then a series is going to shift in a 7th inning.
100%.
So we'll see. Again, what's encouraging tonight is that the Padres have hit a grand slam. They've scored 6 runs. Their offense has come to life, and Nick Pivetta has hung in there. He's allowed a couple of home runs, but they've been solo home runs. Again, is this game over? No. But the Padres have the 6-2 lead right now in the bottom of the 5th inning. So, again, that is encouraging. Manny Machado, if you missed it, has hit a grand slam. How many grand slams have the Padres hit this year?
Couple. Not a lot, but a couple.
I think maybe it's 3, right? We had that year where we called him Slam Diego, and then it became Sack Diego, and now back to Slam Diego. By the way, for the Padres, you look at the way they're going to finish, they have Mets tomorrow morning, and then they have White Sox for 3. You have to clean up in that series, by the way.
You do.
The White Sox are terrible.
Yep.
And then you have home games against the Brewers, who are going to be playing for a lot, potentially. And then 3 against Arizona. They might be playing for a lot as well.
Yeah.
But it's that White Sox series. You just gotta win that series.
Can't lose that series. 2 or 3, I feel like, is even
I agree.
Not good enough, depending on what happens tonight for the rest of this game and then tomorrow.
I agree.
3 grand slams. Manny hit one on July 8th. Yep. Manny hit one on July 18th, and Ramon Laureano hit one on August 26th.
That's right. That was in Seattle, right?
Didn't say. It just says the
So
date.
they didn't have a grand slam until July 18th this year.
Yeah.
And now this is 3 since the 18th of July. 2 of them for Machado.
Do you think Don's call was either man, oh Manny, or do you think it was
that was with Joe Davis in there,
or do you think it was Manny, welcome to Slam Diego? Which one do you think it was?
Both.
Well, I know the answer. I can send it to Brent.
I need to hear it.
Let's hear it on the other side of a break.
Yeah, was it either a man, oh Manny?
It doesn't sound like that.
Or was it oh, Manny Machado, Slam Diego in New York?
That's Joe Davis. You're doing your Joe Davis.
No, my Joe Davis.
Do your Joe Davis. If Manny hit a grand slam.
My Joe Davis would be the 3-2. Oh, Manny Machado! High drive to left. It is out of here. That's not my Don.
I don't even know anymore.
My Don Orsello.
Neither of those sounded like the 2 broadcasters.
I bring my jaw down a little deeper for my Don. And I go, man, oh Manny. That's what my Don sounds like.
All right, we're going to hear the call on the other side. This was far from over. Juan Soto's homered for the Mets. 6-3 Padres in the 5th. We'll hear
Juan Soto sucks. He's not an exciting player. Guy's awful.
He can't win. He's not a team player. He's won like 5 World Series.
Walks. Anybody that watches baseball and you say Juan Soto's not a good baseball player, you don't know baseball. I'm talking to people in the media in this town.
But all he does is walk.
Yeah, you don't know baseball if you are in the media in this town and you think that Juan Soto's not a good player.
All he does is walk. He had his last 3 years, 41 homers, 35 with San Diego.
Yeah, those people that say that
lead the Padres
are morons
over the last 3 years. All right, 6-3, Padres leading in the 5th. We'll hear that Don Orsillo grand slam call from Machado on the other side. Plus Jim's back page coming up. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. Okay. All right, SDFC Midweek Live coming up. Darren Smith in the building. Adrian Garcia Marquez as well. They won, by the way, the Baja Cup yesterday at Snapdragon over Club Tijuana, over the Cholos, 4-2. They'll be on the road this weekend in MLS. And SDFC Midweek Live coming up in about 15 minutes right here on John and Jim. Where were we before we left off? We'll get to Jim's back page, but we were, the call. The Orsillo call.
The call. I need to hear the Don
Okay.
Orsillo call to see if I was
Put your
anywhere close. Hold on.
headphones on.
Hold on. Here we go.
This is Manny Machado's Grand Slam as heard on Padres.tv.
Manny hits it in the air to left field. Back goes Nimmo. Looking up. It's gone! Grand Slam, Manny Machado! Man, oh, man, oh, Manny!
Right. Knew it was coming.
Padres take a 6-2 lead, one swing of the bat. Manny Machado with his 14th Grand Slam of his career.
Slam Diego? No Slam Diego?
No Slam Diego in there.
I understand it. When you only hit 3 Grand Slams in a season, you can't be Slam Diego.
Right. It could be Slammy Machado.
But you knew that the Mano Manny was coming because that's the signature call from Don.
You had to slide it in there.
Had to. You can't have a big time Manny Machado moment with a Mano Manny.
And I love your impersonation. Let me be clear, though. They have to win this game. It's literally a must win.
It's a must win. Yeah.
And it's 6-3 through 5, and their bullpen's been good, and hopefully they preserve.
But they're now
lead.
in the bullpen.
They're now in it. Adrian Morejon has come on. Nick Pivetta went just 4 2/3 innings, allowed 3 home runs. If there's good news there, they were all solo home runs. So 6-3 Padres on the strength of Manny Machado. And right now, let's get to this.
IHOP, John, is unveiling a new value menu with offerings costing $6 at participating U.S. restaurants. At some locations, meals on the menu will be $7. The menu will be available every day between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. Here are the value menu items at IHOP. A breakfast faves combo, 2 buttermilk pancakes, 2 eggs, and a choice of 2 strips of bacon or pork sausage links.
Okay. Bless you.
And
Is that on the menu?
And a sneeze on your food. A ham and cheese omelet. French toast fave combo, a slice of IHOP's thick and fluffy French toast, 2 eggs, and your choice of 2 bacon strips or pork sausage links, or a house scramble. According to IHOP, the value menu will be available for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
How much did you say that was for this value menu?
$6.
7 in some locations.
7 in some locations.
Seven
Okay,
in some.
sounds like a
The
good
house
deal.
by my house will be 7.
Yeah, sounds good.
Of course, because it's Mission Valley, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like IHOP.
I like
I do
IHOP. What
too.
you were saying sounded really good. Seriously.
You know, I agree with more value menu items for like $6-7, right? Like,
right.
Because a lot of things nowadays, it's like 2 buttermilk pancakes and some eggs, $13.99. You're like, really?
That's not really a value.
Not a value
item
there. Hold on one second.
Are you gonna sneeze?
I'm something hit me.
You know what
it is?
The allergy bug.
You know what it is? It's because it's raining.
Here we go.
You know what happens?
It wasn't raining earlier.
But you know what happens when it rains?
Things get wet.
Water hits the ground.
For some reason, it's like the pollen in the air. I don't know.
But you're inside.
I was gonna say you haven't gone outside in 5 hours.
But here's the thing: air can seep in through outside into
Not in
indoors.
here, dude.
That's
okay.
It's true.
Not in here, man.
I'm trying to blame something.
Right.
Okay.
Blame Schild.
Sure. Mike Schildt's fault.
Right.
Burger King, John, is bringing back their Halloween buckets for just $2 starting October 10th. Burger King is getting spooky this season with the return of their popular Halloween bucket starting October 10th. Fans can grab one for just $2, making it an affordable and nostalgic addition to the Halloween lineup.
Ooh. What's a Halloween bucket?
Like when you go trick-or-treating and you carry a
bucket
for candy.
But it doesn't include like burgers and fries and a soft drink in the bucket?
No.
Just a bucket.
Yeah.
What's it say? Burger King?
Limited edition buckets feature festive designs with Burger King characters dressed up in classic Halloween costumes, perfect for trick-or-treating or simply collecting as a keepsake. What makes this year extra exciting is the tie-in with Scooby-Doo, with themed toys available alongside the buckets.
John, what would you do if you took Jones trick-or-treating and someone dropped a Whopper in his basket?
I would sell it. I'd give it to another kid. I would trade that Whopper for like, I don't know, a Milky Way bar.
Okay.
What else you have?
And finally, Doritos, Brent brought this to my attention, is partnering with Stranger Things for new chip flavors.
What's the flavor?
So we have one, the Doritos Collision Stranger Pizza Cool Ranch chips.
Oh.
We also have, so it's like a half and half. It's like it's a bag of Doritos, and then you got half Stranger Things pizza flavor, and the other half Cool Ranch.
Wait, is one like in that other world or whatever?
The upside down? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's probably what they're going for, I would think, though.
We have the Doritos Minis glow-in-the-dark spicy sweet chili chips. Okay. We also have retro packaging Dorito Minis. What do you think of that?
I don't really get the Stranger Things tie.
Well, Stranger Things,
It helps if you
the
watch the
final
show.
season is coming up here in October, November, December.
And are Doritos a big theme?
Well, for marketing purposes, because it's the final season and it's going to be massive, I'm guessing they want to partner up with some big brands going forward to help promote the final season of Stranger Things. And Doritos is a pretty big brand. Would you say not?
Wait, so what's the point here? So you get
They're just partnering.
Is there a middle though? Is there like a in the bag? Is it cut off where I get half on half?
No, they're all
they're
jumbled
there
in one
together.
thing. Yeah.
Here's what it says. The Doritos Collisions Stranger Pizza Cool Ranch
Hence the collision part.
bag is the perfect mashup of pizza culture and iconic Dorito Cool Ranch, which was launched in 1986 and has been the best-selling flavor for nearly 40 years.
Cool Ranch?
According to the brand, pizza is not only Gen Z's top flavor, but also a highly requested Dorito flavor. With 38% of consumers dipping their pizza in ranch, the Stranger Pizza Cool Ranch bag is a no-brainer.
Wait,
Dude,
so
I remember they used to have pizza chips.
hold on. You're telling me the
Pizzerias.
most popular Dorito is Cool Ranch over Dorito? Like, isn't there just like a Dorito flavor?
Yeah, it's just nacho cheese.
That has to be the number one flavor.
Okay. Is the internet wrong, John?
Internet's not wrong.
Internet's
not wrong.
Internet is always wrong.
But the Doritos will not be upside down.
Probably not, John.
But they're always upside down if you think about it.
I just
you know.
Googled it. Best-selling Doritos flavor is consistently reported to be Cool Ranch.
The more you know,
Again,
man.
the internet is not
Never
wrong.
wrong.
It's been a top seller since 1986 when it was released.
That's what Jim was saying. Since 1986, 40 years of Cool Ranch.
And they're bringing back their old school Doritos logos for the bag of Doritos to tie in with Stranger Things.
Have you seen all the seasons?
I have, yeah. I'm very excited about the final season.
Who's going to win?
Probably
The good guys.
Probably the good guys,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
They're probably going to kill the Demi Gordons.
They also have, speaking of that, Jim, they also have a Demi Gorgon black like garlic dip that they're doing with
Oh,
the
wow.
chips. It sounds good, but look at a picture of it. It looks disgusting.
What do you think of Vecna, John, and how they're going to defeat him?
I would use Mason Miller.
Strike him out?
Hitting.
Hey, Vecna, we're bringing in
Against
Mason
Vecna.
Miller. We're going to strike you out.
Yeah, I would use Mason Miller.
What about 11? Do you think 11 survives the season?
Who's number 11?
You,
Do the
Darvish.
Padres
It
have
used to be
11?
Micah Parsons.
Is it Darvish?
No, never mind.
I'm terrible with numbers.
It's not even a number. It's a character.
And no, 11's a number. All right.
He's
if you
not
missed
right.
anything today,
You're wrong.
STFC Midweek Live is on the other side. Darren Smith, Adrian Garcia Marquez. We're back tomorrow for Brent and Jim. I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760. Bye.
This is funny.